Welcome to Sifted's live coverage of the Xbox and Bethesda, I'm going to call it E3 2022.
Even if they're not.
Even if they're not. Showcase event. It is really, Matt, I believe the only legitimate E3 press conference that we're having this year.
I mean, it's a bit of a wake, but yeah.
Yeah.
But remember, in Ireland, wakes get pretty crazy.
That's true. I am really excited for today. In fact, I could not sleep last night. I was here kind of late last night, setting stuff up for today. And I woke up this morning like way too early, and I was like, oh, I can go back to sleep. And then I just got too excited and I couldn't. So I hope you guys are as pumped as we are for the big Xbox press conference. Obviously now Bethesda part of that. Excuse me. I'm assuming next year we'll have Activision and Blizzard as a part of this as well. Imagine that.
I don't think so.
Really?
Not this. I think
you don't think by this time next year?
Oh, next year, yeah. Not today. They would have put that on the marquee, I think.
Yeah, I mean next year.
Yeah.
Imagine it though. You're gonna have what used to be.
They're not gonna have anything though. It's Blizzard. It's like Blizzard comes out of hibernation every 4 years to tell you something is coming out 3 years from now.
Like, they just put out a game, Matt.
A game.
Maybe by this time next year we'll have Diablo 4. What do you think?
I think Diablo. We'll probably be able to see Diablo 4 and speculate about what horrible auction house nonsense is going to be in it because we know that's coming.
A couple notes about what we're going to do here. Matt,
I think it's going to be interesting over the next year building up to that, as you see how much absolute faith has been lost in Blizzard, both from their workplace like choices and corporate culture behavior, and just what they did with Diablo Immortal. Like it's not gonna be pretty. Like I think they're if I were Microsoft, I would be like, all right, we got to have some course corrections here, folks. Like that's a problem.
Yeah. Very quick note for you about how this is going to work. Matt and I we're going to spend about 20 minutes previewing what you should see or maybe won't see. Hopefully we get a lot of surprises in this presentation. And then the last 10 minutes, Matt and I will make our predictions for the press event, and then we'll do live commentary over the event. Matt, how long do you think it's going to last? 90 minutes, 2 hours?
I'm going to guess 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen an actual time.
Yeah. Keely's staying with just 2 hours, which I would argue was about an hour too long, but
it certainly felt like 2 hours.
It definitely did. And we're going to talk about all the other stuff that's happened over the last couple of days on Game Face on Tuesday at our usual time, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. So look forward to that in just 2 days. But today, it's all about Xbox and Bethesda. We're going to kick things off by talking about things maybe we're going to see. And in fact, that's how this is all going to be framed, Matt. Are we going to see this stuff or not? And if we are we going to see gameplay or just a trailer?
Mm-hmm.
First game, Forza Motorsport. What do you think, Matt?
I think we might see it, at least some kind of trailer or something. The word on the street is that Forza's next year.
Really?
So we may not be happy with the release date.
Because I kind of thought that might be the one game that ended up making it out this year.
I kind of thought that might be the bunt for the fall schedule this year, because it's like, let's put Forza out. I mean, that was the running gag. You'll get the Gears collection and Forza, and that'll be that. But I don't know. I've seen multiple places that Forza's next year, which is mind-boggling to me. But here we are.
That is pretty odd, honestly. Yeah, I kind of hoped that would be a game that, with everything else being delayed out of the year, that they might slide in for Q4 to make sure they have some big exclusive for the holiday season. But
I really do think their big fall release is going to be the Gears collection. I think that's all they got.
That's insane.
Unless
that's worse than Sony Christmas.
Unless it's going to be like something we've never heard of before.
It just comes out of nowhere.
Like just like, oh, we got this. Like that's possible. I mean, that's they got enough teams that we don't know everything that's been worked on.
Yeah, the episode of Pactor Factor that just went up for patrons yesterday, he mentions that he thinks there's going to be a game that just appears out of nowhere that will release before the end of the year to kind of save Christmas for Xbox.
They better hope so. I don't know.
The chances of that, we'll see. Next up, Stalker 2. Development issues with this game, obviously, because it was being developed in Ukraine.
It was still supposed to come out in December, though, and I feel like they'll probably put it in there just so they can do some solidarity with Ukraine commentary, as we awkwardly did in the Summer Game Fest thing. I think we'll probably see that.
I think so too. What do you think we'll see? A trailer or a gameplay?
You mean? I mean, I guess. Yeah, I guess I think of them all as trailers.
Yeah,
really,
because they're all pre-recorded.
Yeah, nobody plays anything on a stage anymore. But I would think it'd be more of a gameplay demo-y thing. You know, where you watch the guy play the first, 10 minutes. Not 10 minutes. I do 10 minutes of Stalker, but you know what I mean. Like,
the game's gorgeous too, so I think it probably would be a good idea to show it. Because so far, I haven't really seen a whole lot of games that really push the boundaries of what Xbox Series consoles can do. And this game certainly does, so I would not be surprised if we get a 5 to 7 minute demo of this game live on stage. Next up, Hellblade 2. This game, it feels like we should be playing this. To me, this might be another game that has a very slight chance of being that surprise release in Q4.
Yeah, I would like for this to make it this year, but I don't know. It feels like they're being so ambitious with it, and they've been slow rolling it enough that I wouldn't be surprised if we barely saw it today. But I would like to see more. Because this gameplay demo from the Game Awards didn't really tell us a whole lot other than like, oh boy, I want to play this.
Yeah, I mean, they have shown us gameplay, which is good.
I just like, I don't really care what it is. I just like to see more of this game.
Mm-hmm. I would lean, because they did just show us gameplay, I would lean towards a trailer for this game. Mm-hmm. But I would not be shocked.
I'd like to see a release date. That's what I'd like to see. Or at least like a quarter window, something like that.
Yeah, I would not be shocked if out of nowhere they're like, this game's coming in December or something like that, which means it could then be delayed until 2023.
I mean, it's just, like, you can't really guess one or the I mean, I don't have a guess one or the other in some ways, just because like Ninja Theory is so small that like, this is a lot for a pretty. I mean, this is I think their team is not that much bigger than the No Man's Sky team. Like, I think they're cranking pretty hard on this. I mean, look what they did.
Yeah, it's pretty gorgeous. Yeah, game's looking good. But I definitely think it will be a part of the presentation today in some shape or form.
I don't think you can let this go by without showing something. Like, at least a little, hey, this is still here and cool.
Yep. Next up, Starfield. Game was just delayed into 2023, despite having a release date for this year baked into its trailer.
It was just a date. It's something's happening on November 11th. We don't know what. Come on, let's not pin them down to that.
Yeah, God of War is going to be released on that date. My guess.
Yeah, that's probably right. That's probably true.
We'll talk about a troll.
Yeah.
if they would release God of War on the date that Starfield was supposed to come out,
I think I don't see any reason you shouldn't get like a big demo of this.
I think so too. I think we're going to see the first ever real gameplay.
If only as like sort of like a consolation prize kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, sorry, it's not coming out this year, but here's what you're going to miss. So yeah, I mean, barring the surprise release we don't know about, I would expect this to, in a sane world, to be the biggest, largest amount of time devoted to anything in the show.
Agreed, and I would also argue that it either starts or finishes the event. That would be a smart thing.
Like, my guess would be maybe you start with this and you end with a surprise, what's actually coming out this year, sort of thing.
I can't believe we're talking about it in that way, but it is what it is. Next up, Redfall.
Also, the word is that Bethesda showing this and something of Redfall and announcing 2 new things.
Oh, okay.
That was the rumor.
Okay. Well,
I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't looked at the internet this morning, really.
Okay. Well, here is Redfall, Bethesda's cooperative vampire hunter shooter. This game was also supposed to come out this year and was also delayed into 202023. There have been betas.
This was supposed to be August at one point, which is kind of hilarious.
I think we kind of knew all along that wasn't going to happen.
That was very optimistic.
But there have been betas already. There's been leaks from some of the early play tests that players have been doing. I definitely think we'll see a gameplay demo of this, considering people have been playing it already, and it was supposed to come out this year. I think this will be another one of the big gameplay demos of the press conference, and I'm excited to check it out. A Bethesda game, one thing you can never say about Bethesda is it doesn't try to do things that are different and unique. So, Deathloop, obviously, one of the Game of the Year contenders for last year. I don't know if this game is quite as innovative, but it does look fun, and the setting, I think, is pretty unique. So I'm pretty excited for this game, and hopefully we'll get to at least check out a little bit of it. Let's see. Next up, Avowed. Obsidian's... It's funny. So Obsidian, I think this was originally supposed to be Xbox's like Elder Scrolls killer.
Yeah.
But now Xbox owns the Elder Scrolls.
Yeah, but they still need something like Elder Scrolls to fill the intervening 6 years. So
yeah.
I think we will not see this.
When was this trailer from? I can't remember.
2 years ago?
Is it 2 years old now?
At least.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we see. I think we'll see maybe another trailer
I don't think we'll see it at all.
because this trailer really doesn't show much.
No, I'm putting my bet down on that. You want to call prediction? We will not hear or see of Avowed.
Anything of Avowed.
There'll be nothing of Avowed in this, I don't think.
Do you think we'll see anything from Obsidian at all?
I don't know. I mean, we might stumble into a 10-minute Grounded 1.0 presentation. Like that's
That would
kind
be
of
a
one of my
huge
fears.
mistake.
But like, no, I don't know what else they're really working on right now.
Yeah.
But I do not think we'll see this. I think this game's way, way out.
Okay. Next up, Alan Wake 2.
I think
Too early for this, don't you think?
Yeah, I think we'll get a mention. Like, I think they'll mention a bunch of stuff. I don't know if we'll get any kind of in-depth thing from this. It feels like we've already seen what they're going to show this year of this game.
Yeah, I don't think this game is all that far along. I think best case scenario is we get another trailer, but I think more likely they have bigger fish to fry with this presentation. So I'd be shocked if we see anything from this game today. Maybe just a reminder that it's coming and some kind of a montage or something like that, just to let people know.
Yeah, it might show up in like the whole where they show 30 things and like it's like the stuff that's on Xbox.
Don't forget. Yeah, one of those type deals. And then Everwild, Rare's
everybody just forget
indescribable
Everwild.
game.
Just forget they mentioned that. Just forget it. Like just move on. Like, this is not a thing anymore. I don't think
it is funny.
I'm sure it's a thing, but they even as recently as like last year, they did an interview where they're like, we don't actually know what the gameplay is yet. We just built the world. Yeah. It's just like, okay, that's an interesting. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it pays off for them. But like, I don't think this is a game yet. Still,
it doesn't sound like it. Yeah. They have an idea what the game a part of it is going to be.
No, I mean, it sure looks cool as hell, but like, what is it? If they don't know, I don't think we're expected to know.
It reminds me of was it Fable Legends, the multiplayer Fable game that we got like a bunch of media for, and then it just like disappeared.
Oh, no, that was in beta. Like, people were playing that for money. People spent money on that. They had to refund everything. Like,
I know.
Canceling that game was bizarre.
Like, but there's so much media impressed for this game already. I mean, I have 3 trailers. There's previews of it. There's so many write-ups about it online.
But it's, even through all that, it still feels a little proof of concept-y.
Yeah, it's just weird that they would have gone so far and just to turn around. But I agree with you. Basically, it came out not long ago that Rare is trying to figure the game out, and it doesn't know what it's going to be yet. And I think it's just way too early to show something like that at this point. So I agree with you. I think Everwild is 95% out for this presentation. I don't think a lot of people are all that excited to really check it out anyway, to be perfectly honest with you. I don't think it's made a huge impression with a lot of people.
I only think about it when you bring it up on these things. So, I think a lot of people just sort of put this out of their mind because they know it's either a long way off or never. Yeah. So,
next up, The Outer Worlds 2.
I would very much like to see this.
Me too.
So that's what Obsidian's doing. Yeah.
Right. That was the other option for sure. Do you think they'll show it?
I don't know. Like, I feel like that's kind of a coin flip, but I would really like to see it.
Me too. A very auspicious debut for that franchise. It seemed to be a little rushed because it was shorter than most games of that type.
It felt a little proof of concept-y in the sense of like how much was there. But I remember at the time, I think when we talked about it, I said the sequel to this game is going to be Game of the Year contender.
Yeah.
Because now that they got the formula down and they got like the world down, they can just play in it. And this is Outer Worlds 2 is pretty high on my wanted list, really. I mean, I'm not getting too dug into it because I know it's probably a long way. It's early. It's probably mid to late next year. But like, no, I really like the first one, and I'd really like to see more. So,
I think best case scenario, a gameplay trailer.
Yeah, something.
Because this trailer's in engine, but it doesn't really show any of the play.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the next step for most games. That's kind of how the promotional cycle goes. So that would be my guess, best case scenario for Outer Worlds 2. Next up, Ark 2, starring Vin Diesel.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's probably time.
We are due.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been running this trailer for like 2 years now. It's time to see something from this game other than this weird trailer. This trailer is so weird.
Like, it's just so different from the first one. I was like, all right.
It's Vin Diesel, and he just, in his costuming and everything, I think it's bizarre. But
yeah, he apparently loves it.
Yeah.
He's executive producer or something. So.
Yeah. So I think maybe we'll see. I'm guessing maybe just another trailer for this. Probably not gameplay yet.
Probably not. If the first one's anything to go by, you probably don't want a demo gameplay.
Yeah. The first one was so hard to get past the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember I had to try it 3 times before I could just get past the first opening little sequence or whatever. I have a feeling they're going to nerf that stuff and make it a lot more onboard friendly for the sequel, but we'll see. Next up, State of Decay 3. That studio has been in turmoil.
Yeah, I don't think they're mentioning this one.
I don't think we're going to see anything from this game at all.
This sounds like it's in a whole horrible place right now.
Yeah, the studio, there's been a lot of reports coming out from the studio that there's all kinds of issues there as far as with the workforce. For the first time in my career, hearing developers say that the publisher was too hands off. That you just don't hear that. That is something that is never a problem, the publisher being too hands off. They actually were asking Microsoft to come in and regulate the studio a little better.
Yeah, it happens sometimes. It was funny yesterday. Matt McMuscles put up his what happened about Trespasser. You remember that Jurassic Park?
Yep.
And they talked about how they had no guidance for the DreamWorks didn't know anything about video games, so they just sort of let them go and do what they want. That was kind of a problem after a certain point.
Yeah, it's bizarre, but I don't think we'll see anything from this. I mean, as it is. This trailer, the first one that they gave us, is all CG.
Yeah.
It's nothing from the actual game.
It's literally just a this exists trailer.
Yeah, even though it probably, when they put the trailer out, didn't in fact exist. No. So that's pretty much the list of stuff that I think had a possibility of being shown. Now we're going to move on to a trio of long shots, and a couple of them you've already kind of shot down. The first one, Elder Scrolls 6.
Not a chance in hell.
No chance at all of even just a trailer to tease people with?
Nothing. They haven't even started this game. There's no question. This is literal proof of concept stuff.
I mean, this isn't even a proof of concept.
This is basically animated. This is basically animated concept art. Yeah. There's nothing here.
Yeah, I would give it a 1% chance of, and if they do show anything, it's going to be a trailer.
At best, they'll just say, and don't forget, Elder Scrolls is coming.
Yeah. Again, in that 30-second montage is my guess at the end of it all.
They have years and years and years to worry about this.
Next up, Perfect Dark.
No.
This game has also been in development hell. They keep
bringing in reinforcements.
Crystal Dynamics, is that right, is working on this now?
Yeah, Crystal was involved, and there was another team involved. It's weird.
Yeah.
No one seems to fully know what's going on with this thing.
It sounds like it's a disaster, and they can't figure out what kind of, a little bit like Everwild, they can't really seem to figure out what game they want it to be.
Which is weird, because it's there's only so many things Perfect Dark can be.
I mean,
just make Tomb Raider.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think with Crystal Dynamics coming in, they're going to turn it into a Tomb Raider clone.
I got no problem with that.
Me either. It's not like we get a Tomb Raider once every 3 years, something like that. Slot this in every other third year, that's great. I have no issue with that at all. So... I don't think we're going to see it. I would give this a less than 5% chance, although rumors are already saying no, right?
Yeah.
The word on the street.
Word on the street. Conventional wisdom seems to be this is not going to be there.
Yeah. And then finally, and this is another one where the word on the street is not being kind at all, Fable from Playground Games.
The earliest thing I heard about this presentation is don't expect Fable.
Really?
Yeah. That's the first bit of gossip I heard was no Fable.
Huh. Where did you see that, Matt?
Twitter.
Because it does seem like it's kind of due to see something.
Yeah, but if they don't want to, then they don't want to.
Because this trailer also is just a CG trailer.
Yeah.
This isn't anything from the actual game.
No, they're all from that one year where they're just we acquired all these things and we're going to show you a little teaser so you know there's something to look forward to, but really there's nothing concrete yet. Yeah,
this is just saying, you know what, Playground Games is working on Fable. Because there were rumors flying around for a long time before this trailer was released.
Yeah.
But this trailer does capture the tone of Fable, I believe.
Yeah, it does.
The whimsy crossed with the macabre is a good way to describe the Fable aesthetic.
The dry British thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I don't know, I'd give this a little bit, I know the rumor is it's not going to be shown and whatnot, I would give this a little bit of a higher chance of being shown, but maybe 15 or 20%, something like that.
I don't know, I'd like to see more, I'd like to see what the hell's going on, because I do care about the Fable games, but...
Yep. So those are all the games that we think might be shown. Now, as Matt said, again, word on the street is that there's 2 brand new things that are going to be shown. Fable and Perfect Dark are not going to be there. We'll see if that actually plays out and ends up being true. Now we're going to move on to our predictions for this press event. Let me check the time here. Oh, we're doing perfectly on time. Both of us are going to deliver a couple predictions, and I am going to start. Mm-hmm. And I am going to start with a prediction that I have made for the last 2 or 3.
Say it often enough, and one day you'll be right.
What is the saying? Like a stopped clock is right twice a day?
Yes, this is definitely your stopped clock.
I want to see in chat if anyone can predict what I am about to predict, because I have a feeling everybody knows by now what I'm about to say. Vincent says, here we go again. Yep. Justin Orman says, don't say Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah.
Gah. That is exactly what I am predicting. And this time, I come with at least half a receipt, Matt, because there are rumors floating around that a new Banjo is going to be shown today.
Well, there's rumors floating around that they're working on a new Banjo. I have not seen any of those rumors say that it's going to be in this show.
That's true. So Modern Vintage Gamer went to GDC, and he is a game developer actually. He works at Night Dive Studios. And so he went to GDC, and he said he heard many people in his various travails around GDC talking about how Rare is working on a new Banjo.
Many people are saying.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he actually heard people.
We know if you proceed anything with that, it's true.
Yeah. So, just because I have been so steadfast in that someday Rare will work on another Banjo, I am predicting that we will get a trailer for a brand new Banjo-Kazooie game today, and it will not be Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts 2. It will be Banjo 3E.
Info coming in right now because you said that they've canceled the Banjo project. Now you've done it.
Thanks, Matt. Breaking news. Matt, what's your first prediction?
My first prediction is technically we will not see Avowed.
Okay.
I think Avowed is one of those things. The other thing, I think the more...
Why do you think we won't see it, Matt?
I just think that game is... Something tells me that game is...
The ambition that it's going to require...
Yeah. And because of Obsidian's reputation for buggy open world things, I think they're going to wait until that thing is real ready.
Okay.
Even to show it, let alone release it. The other, I would say, we're definitely going to have to sit through a Halo redemption arc here. We're
trying to save.
Yeah, there's definitely going to be a whole thing where they try to build our confidence in how totally supported Halo Infinite it's going to be, and you can do co-op now, and you can do you're gonna have to do that. We're gonna have to live through this, folks. I'm sorry. We're gonna have to do the Master Chief Redemption Halo arc here.
Okay. That's fair, and I think that's probably likely.
I mean, you got to do it. I'm not looking forward to it, but you got to do it.
Though I think you're right. I think they'll probably give 5 to 8 minutes to the Halo Infinite roadmap to try to get people engaged, and I think it will fail miserably.
Probably.
Because I just feel like it's already game over for that game.
The community sure seems to feel that way.
I mean, look, if it hasn't had a resurgence organically when there's been no other exclusives to play... Mm-hmm. What are the chances of it having a resurgence when there are other games to play?
The best you could do, I guess, would be actually to put out like a co-op campaign, a new campaign chunk along with the co-op, and hope that those people migrate to the multiplayer in the process.
Yeah. By the way, people, we are keeping an eye on the press conference. We have it right here in our TriCaster in our preview pane. As soon as it kicks off, we will head over there, so don't sweat it. We're not going to miss the opening of the press conference. We're all good. My next prediction is that there will be an Avatar demo for Ubisoft's Avatar game. Ubisoft did not do any sort of an E3 Summer Game Fest, whatever you want to call it, presentation. I think we know why. It's because it doesn't have a whole lot to show. One thing it should have to show, though, is the Avatar game. And since it's not having its own press event, the next best thing is the Xbox and Bethesda press event. So I think it's time. When is the film scheduled for release, Matt?
December.
So it has to. They have to show a demo of this.
I don't think this will be here.
Really?
No.
How come?
I just think they're going to hold all this stuff until closer to the marketing window.
Really?
Because as far as they're concerned, I think this thing's going to be a mega hit no matter what. And you just put this out. They don't really care. I think if we know about it, they want the mass audience to know about it. So you'll see a lot of advertising in November, I think. But no, I don't think so. Maybe Gamescom.
Okay.
Maybe Gamescom. Partly because the Ubi connection. I've also heard that Ubi's not really going to be at this thing.
Oh, where'd you see that at?
That's just been floating around.
Oh, interesting. I think it's time. I mean, if it's launching...
anything else, I might agree, but this is controlled tooth and nail by James Cameron, so who knows?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if James Cameron's on stage.
I would. They will never let that happen.
Remember the last time he did that?
Yeah, I wouldn't.
What a disaster!
I wouldn't get too excited about this one. This is. I don't think this will be here, but I wouldn't mind seeing a little bit of it. But I think they're going to want again, I think as they approach the release of the movie, they are going to want more people's first encounter with this property this year to be the movie and not the game.
Interesting. Okay. Do you think the game will launch right alongside the film?
I think they'd like it to.
Yeah.
I don't know if it will.
What the hell else is Ubisoft working on it? They better get it done.
I don't know. I mean, ideally, yeah, you'd get this out in November or early December to go alongside the movie, but who knows these days.
I don't know this. Does this follow the plot of the film, or is this...
No, it's its own thing.
Okay. And it's not like a prequel to the film or anything like that?
I mean, I'm sure it's in canon, but I don't know when it takes place. It is not based on the film.
Okay. All right.
On the new movie, no.
Okay. What's your next prediction, Matt?
Well, I think the rumors are credible that Silk Song is going to be a day one Game Pass release.
It would make a lot of sense. Absolutely.
Which is a big deal.
Bigger than most people think.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been waiting for this game for a long, long time. So is my fantasy team. But, we still don't really have a hard release date.
No?
For that game. It's this year.
They say this year.
Yeah. But...
but to get that on Game Pass would be pretty great.
It would be. And it's a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Game Pass could use some help right now, too. So Microsoft... with all its games being delayed out of the year.
That's a real good thing to have there and make people glad they have Game Pass.
Yeah, Microsoft, and that may be... That's actually
a big, fat steak to throw to the people that are still subscribing to Game Pass.
Yeah, this actually leads into my last prediction, which is that Microsoft is going to announce some huge Game Pass games. Some exclusive, or some big third-party games that are day and date, because it does not have its first-party games to fill the void. I think it's going to sign some deals with some third parties to get some really big stuff on Game Pass day and date. It's already done a little bit of that, but I think you're going to look at some big stuff. Like, for example, another game that I think they're going to show in this press conference, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I think we're going to see a demo of this today. And I also think that there's a probability that a game of this caliber is going to be announced day and date for Game Pass, because it needs something on Game Pass to keep people from canceling their subscriptions over the next 7 or 8 months while they wait for a big game. So I think that's going to be a push for Xbox in this press conference in general, is filling up the channels with good Game Pass stuff, because they need it, because they're not doing it themselves.
Yeah, I mean, this would be a good way to make sure I actually play this.
And this game is due to show us a demo, by the way. I mean, it was supposed to come out this year.
But maybe like with the delay to next year, who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what that did to the timeline?
It's true. But I think you're getting the gist now, though. This is going to be good. Like, I really think this press conference is going to be something really exciting, something really good to watch. I think we're going to get a look at a lot of stuff we've been really excited for, a lot of things that were delayed out of this year, and I think that's going to benefit this press event, Matt, is that so many games were pushed out, and this is kind of the last big, other than the Game Awards at the end of the year, or Gamescom to a lesser extent. This is kind of a real big opportunity for them to get in front of a huge, huge audience. So, I'm really excited for this. I think it's going to be awesome. What about you, Matt? I know at Game Face you were kind of tepid with your excitement over it. Has that changed at all?
No, I still don't really expect this to be particularly interesting. Both in the sense that maybe they'll show, like, so much of this is just going to be next year.
Okay.
So much of it's next year, and like that's not interesting to me. Like it's just like look forward more to things you already were looking forward to, but longer. Like that's not exciting to me. Like that's. It's expected, but it's still meh. Do I want to see what Starfield's like? Absolutely. Am I going to be super excited about it? No, because it's next year, maybe late next year. We don't know. They say Q1, Q2, but I don't have any faith in these things anymore. So cool, but call me when I can give you money for it. Really, I mean that's where I am on that.
Okay.
And I guess I wouldn't have to give you money for it because it's Game Pass. But
right.
But it's just so much of it seems so unimmediate. And maybe there will be something. Maybe there'll be the surprise thing they've got that everybody says is in there. Maybe Bethesda's 2 announcements will be something interesting. Who knows? Another Wolfenstein.
Kind of due for that, though.
Yeah,
it's been a while.
But I don't know.
Okay, let's look at chat. Do you guys have any predictions? We got about 2 minutes before the press. Actually, it's 10 o'clock now.
Yeah, should be going.
Yeah, let me just jump over here to make sure that we don't miss anything. It should be starting up here real soon. There's 70,000 people waiting for it to start right now. Yeah. Oh, here we go.
There we go.
Yep. All right, let me get the audio hooked up for you guys, and here we go.
2 minutes.
2 minutes. All right, that does give us some time to look at predictions from you guys. Let's see if you guys have any. Chester Eugene, thank you for Twitch Prime while we're in here. Eric Cartmenez says Dead Rising remake in Resident Evil engine. Interesting. That's not a bad one. Any other predictions from you guys?
GoldenEye has a lot of the achievements for that leaked. So yeah, GoldenEye might be in there.
Yeah.
Does anyone care still?
I don't.
Like about GoldenEye? I mean, like a remaster of GoldenEye?
No, I don't care.
I was more excited about the Dark Alliance 2 remaster that was announced.
Yeah. Hey, well, before we get started here, let us know about the audio mix, if our voices are okay.
Oh yeah, Evil Within 3 is probably in here somewhere, yeah?
Big Dave Lazard says the Evil Within 3. Do you think that's going to happen after the studio just put out a game just a couple months ago?
I mean, they got separate teams on those, as I recall.
Yeah, so. That's right. I mean, Mikami didn't really work on their new game all that much. So maybe you're right. Yeah, Ghostwire Tokyo was like his underlings working on it, so maybe his baby.
That's interesting. ETH Demon saying Diablo 4 being shown because beta signups dropped last night.
Oh, okay.
That's possible.
That makes sense. Absolutely, that makes sense. Neo JD says first game is going to be Redfall.
I can see that as a kickoff.
Okay, Toast says he can barely hear us over the audio. Okay, then we'll bring down the sound of the press conference a little bit. In fact, it's pretty loud in our ear as well.
Forza Horizon 5 DLC, I guess that is...
Is that better?
Probably time.
Just let us know. Voice levels sound good, Justin says. Okay. Any other last predictions? We got 10 seconds here, people. Forza DLC, Sneaky says. I think the Hot Wheels DLC is already leaked for Forza Horizon. I think I just saw something on Sifted. All right, here we go. Let's do it. And again, if the audio mix is not good, just let us know in the chat, and we'll adjust it for you guys.
Xbox console exclusive.
Looney on the Loose says long shot Prince of Persia remake.
Yeah, Redfall. There it is.
Just predicted it. Who was it that predicted Redfall first?
Something's off at the church.
I can't hear that at all. Neo JD predicted it.
Okay. Good job, buddy.
His plan was to investigate it alone. Of course. Don't stress, Layla. Oh, shit.
Yeah, volume's too low.
The volume for what? For the game?
It sounds like the game.
So I turned it down for somebody else, and now they want me to turn it back up.
I can barely hear the game in my ear. Like it's.
I can hear it loud.
I can barely hear anything.
Really?
I can't understand the dialogue if we're talking. It's too loud. Too low.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really loud for me.
Is there a volume thing on this?
Uh-uh.
No, I can't. I can barely.
Jacob! Oh, thank God.
Come on, let's find the others and beat feet.
You know, Redfall used to look like it was straight out of a postcard.
This is strange because I thought this was all about like co-op. I didn't really think it was a big single-player game.
Seafront district and the old lighthouse. Then something happened. People started vanishing, and those who didn't sold out big time. Fast forward, basically everyone's either a vampire, a cultist trying to become a vampire, or dead. And these aren't just trashy movie vampires. These monsters blocked out the sun and pushed back all the water, totally cut us off from the outside world. Gotta admit though, if I have to be stuck on an island full of vampires, I'm glad it's with y'all.
Feelings mutual, I guess.
Aw, thanks, Jacob. We've also got Remy, our engineer genius, and her little robot.
Here's the
buddy.
co-op stuff.
Who's a good robot? Who's the best robot?
And our resident expert on all things.
We're like volume
furry.
10. The game feed's about 5. They say.
But to each their own.
Last but not least, yours truly. I have these weird powers.
We've been digging for answers but haven't found much beyond blood and death. Luckily, the vampires and their sycophants aren't discreet about where they like to nest. I'd bet the answers we need are inside those tourist traps turned fortresses.
Spotted some bloodsuckers in their fan club near the festival grounds. Let's start there.
Some guy doing his best Chris Pratt
Posting
impression
out.
there.
This is different than what I thought it was going to be.
This is Left 4 Dead with vampires. Is pretty much what I was expecting.
Could go straight at him or just slip past.
Let's just get this done. On my mark.
I'm still not quite sure. Do you play this with other people cooperatively? Or is it...
Yeah, it's a 4-player game.
Is it?
As far as I know.
That's what I thought. That's not the impression that this gives, though. I don't think.
Yeah, it is.
Really?
This looks like Left 4 Dead.
Oh, so you think this
4-player.
commentary is like the canned stuff like Ubisoft did at E3
Yeah.
one year? Gotcha. So
like
this is
the-
supposed to
it's
be
like-
human players talking.
No, it's supposed to be the characters are talking, but it's supposed to be like they're in the game.
My cryptid hunter's intuition tells me there's a nest nearby.
You're what?
Jeff, that's not a thing.
You're right. It's like Left for
I
Vampires.
simply must go in there.
What is that? Where does it go?
Into the safe house.
Some kind of collective consciousness. That's impossible.
There's the movie theater. I used to come here all the time. Why'd they have to mess this up for me? Ah, shit.
It'll collapse any second.
Run!
Well, it looks like you can play by yourself.
You can play by yourself in Left 4 Dead too, but it doesn't
Playing
mean,
Left
it
4
works
Dead
well.
by yourself sucks so bad. Or Back for Blood by yourself. Big skill tree there. No release date.
It's 2023. We knew that.
Yeah, but I mean no hard date. Uh-oh.
Silk Song.
Well, this looks appropriately insane.
Yeah, I mean, this is what a follow-up to Hollow Knight should look like.
Yep. No date, day one with Game Pass. There it is.
Yeah,
But no release date.
no release date.
What the hell? When are they ever gonna announce a
Did
release?
you pick? Was that on your team?
Yes.
Good luck.
That is. What
Console
the
launch
hell?
exclusive. Okay.
Selling humans
Launch
as drugs. You're the only one that can stop them. You realize we're gonna have to take out the entire alien drug cartel.
Rick and Morty.
you're just gonna leave me here in what, space?
Everybody lives in space, including you. All right, you're a bounty hunter now. You gotta help me rescue my friends. They're Gatlians, just like me.
So your gun is Morty. Is basically what's happening here.
Squeeze me so tight. How about a little dinner first and some bubble bath maybe first? Look at us, blasting away.
Kind of like Stranger's Wrath.
Yeah, it does a little bit.
The personified gun.
Also reminds me a little bit of Slime Rancher.
Heck. Well, we didn't predict this one.
Nope, I don't think anybody would have.
Stab. Yes, more. I need more stabbing.
Also, the YouTube stream is crappy. There's so many people on it, it's like dropping down in resolution.
Everyone, fight each other!
High on life.
Well, okay. Well, now I can.
This year.
There's your big fall game.
There's Patrick's prediction. Fire Native, finally the big good games.
Welcome to the Xbox and Bethesda Games Showcase. Today, we're doing something we've never done before. For the first time ever, our entire show is focused on games you can play over the next 12 months.
Oh.
You're going to see more gameplay than we've ever had in a show. Industry-defining racing experiences, gripping narratives, compelling strategy titles.
Come on, YouTube.
And my favorite, the most anticipated open-world RPG of the last 20 years. All playable in the year ahead. And the best part is, with the Xbox, you'll be able to play those games in more ways than ever before. You can play on your console, PC, or on the go with Xbox Cloud Gaming.
The circular green screen stage is going to be part of the game industry for like the next decade.
What is
the circular green screen stage?
That's on top of hundreds of titles coming to members over the next year.
This might be the same stage that it looks like the same stage Jeff did his thing on.
Well, I mean, none of that's real.
Right, it's all green screen. Yeah.
We are
It's
thrilled
just
to be working with an
the
iconic
design.
team.
Everyone's in
It has
front of the
built some
same
most
curved
played,
space window.
Most
Yeah.
watched franchises in the entire world. And now, all Game Pass members will be able to unlock the benefits for these incredible games on PC and mobile.
Vincent brings up a good point that means Silksong is coming in the next 12 months, but
Yeah.
that doesn't do me any good.
That leaves 6 months.
6 months, yeah.
Unforgettable moments in esports to amazing creations that have blown our minds. Our community has continually taken Riot Games to new heights. Today, we're proud to invite the Xbox community into that world. We're bringing our biggest PC and mobile games to Game Pass.
Ooh.
Subscribers will unlock every champion on League and Wild Rift, all Valorant agents, select cards in Legends of Runeterra, and little legends in Teamfight Tactics. And that's just the start. Thank
Wow,
you
that's kind of a
for
big
coming on
deal.
this journey with us, and welcome to Riot
Well,
Games.
or is it? They're all free-to-play games anyway.
Yeah, but if all champions unlocked, that's not
that's
nothing.
a big deal. Yeah.
Home sweet home.
Hey DA, should we show 'em how we do it every day?
I always love watching an editor try to make a card game exciting.
Yeah, it's tough. Yeah, I mean, Eve Demon says in the chat that if you had to pay to unlock all those
Yeah, that's a
champs,
lot.
and it is a lot of money. Yeah, there's a
Like,
monetary
not having to wait
value
for the
there.
rotation just because you're a Game Pass subscriber seems like a pretty good deal.
Yeah, I mean, I played League for like 7 or 8 years, and I never spent a penny on it. And I think at the end of that time, before I quit playing, I had unlocked 30 or 40 champs, maybe something like that, for free. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of monetary value to that. But the rest of it, like Valorant, some of their games cost money now, though. Some of their recent ones, like their single-player stuff.
Call me when the fighting game's out.
Yeah, well, no one's gonna be calling you for a long time, I think.
Nah, I don't think so.
Still.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
That was one of the things I predicted, though, is that it would partner with a lot more
Yeah.
third parties to buoy Game Pass.
I'm sorry, Amicia. For Hugo.
I was just Plague Tale.
Looks like it.
The macula's not just in Hugo's
What's with the
blood.
potato quality
It
today?
concerns
Come on,
everyone.
YouTube.
Yeah, I don't know. YouTube's just choking. It can't handle all the traffic.
Rotten flesh. Remember, no more killing soldiers. No more killing us.
Look out! There's a killer around here. One of our men has been murdered.
Oh, Lord. It's that 480p that we're watching right now? Something like that.
I'm tired of being afraid. I'll show them that it's over.
Finally.
See? They're nothing. Nothing to be scared of.
You are not them.
What is wrong with me? Hugo. Do it. Quick.
There are the rats.
Yeah, it looks like you can control them.
That's pretty awesome.
Like the little girl's got rat control power.
I'm saying it's this year. Not on Game Pass, though.
Yeah, there it is. Play it on day one with Game Pass.
Oh, it did?
Right there.
Oh, I spoke too
That's
soon.
a separate graphic they throw up at the end of everything. Looking forward to that. I like the first one a lot.
Yeah, underrated game for sure. Here's Forza. What's gonna happen?
I bet cars are gonna drive.
I mean, about its release date.
2023. I bet that's all we get. It's just like 2023. Just like Redfall. But first half, I guess. Sure looks nice, but like, I don't know, like I'm spoiled by Horizon's level of personality.
Yeah, these games are very sterile. And they haven't shown anything from this one yet that would lead me to believe that that's going to change.
No, I don't really expect much more than just Forza again.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the spring 2023.
Oh boy.
With the proper like graphical upgrades, I mean that's kind of all you need to do, but it has been a while.
Yeah, it sure has.
Forza Motorsport is
And it's
back.
gonna be a while longer.
I'm Dan Greenwald, GM of Motorsport, and I'm joined by Chris Sasaki, Creative Director at Turn 10. Forza is known for its photoreal beauty and state-of-the-art immersion. Built from the ground up to showcase the Xbox Series X and S consoles, including techniques like real-time ray tracing on track. This is the most technically
I remember
advanced
doing
racing
interviews
game
with Dan
ever
when we were
made.
young.
Yeah.
Today,
when he was a lot
we're
younger
excited
too.
to show you the all-new.
Yeah, I meant
Forza
like both of us.
Right.
being
Yeah.
young.
Yep.
Welcome to Maple Valley, This track has been a fan favorite since the original Motorsport launched back in 2005. For the first time in Forza Motorsport, fully dynamic time of day brings Maple Valley to life in stunning detail. What you are seeing is an in-engine gameplay demo presented using a single camera with no cuts. Let's jump in with the M8.
YouTube is really crapping the bed.
We've completely overhauled the driving experience. This includes a 48
I don't think
times
that's the
improvement
connection here.
in the
It should be
fidelity
fine.
of our physics
Yeah.
simulation. Let's advance time of day here and look at the world details. Everything you see is new and has been captured with photogrammetry and 3D material scans. Advanced rendering and procedural generation techniques bring a new level of realism to the track. Here you can see the beautiful fall colors of Maple Valley. The grass, rocks, 3D vegetation,
The grass,
skies and clouds.
rocks.
They all demonstrate a generational leap in beauty and detail. Let's advance time again. You are looking at our all-new dynamic time of day. This is a fundamental system to the new Forza Motorsport, and like weather, is available on every track. These new simulation details add further depth, drama, and dynamics to the racing experience.
Tracks definitely seem more alive than prior motorsport games.
In addition to our dynamic time of day, Forward Plus lighting and physically based lights come together to deepen the realism and immersion in the world. Changes in the time of day also change ambient temperatures, which affect track surface temps. Grip is also affected by these track temp changes, rubbering in, and of course, weather. Let's head to the pits. We've added features that players have been asking for. Tire and fuel management, multiple tire compounds, and new depth in car building create the ultimate racing playset. Advanced materials and shaders, paired with ray tracing, bring out incredible detail in the gold heat wrap, anodized aluminum, and carbon fiber. Engine bays, with their complex self-reflection, is a place where ray tracing really shines. Car damage is a racing reality. In Forza Motorsport, car damage is reproduced down to the individual scratches on the bodywork. You can see here some of the new details in the directionality of damage, how the paint peels away at exposed and raised edges.
Does
in
it affect the
wheel
performance of
abrasions,
the car,
and
though?
even in the dirt buildup.
A lot of times it's just cosmetic.
Using
And
the
I'm
power
completely
of the
fine with
Xbox
that.
Series
Yeah, me too,
X and S
actually.
No
consoles,
interest in dealing with
ray
that shit.
tracing makes
There's
everything
nothing worse
feel more
than
connected.
limping a car around the
Cars
track that like
reflecting
has a
onto other
broken
cars.
axle.
Cars reflect in their own mirrors, bodywork, brake rotors, and wings. Things just feel more natural, more real.
Oh my gosh,
We
the
believe
stream is so
that
terrible.
the accuracy of our overhauled physics, the beauty of our cars and tracks,
When this demo is done,
Our
we're
new
going to cut away
dynamic
real
time
quick.
of
I'm
day,
going to reload it, and
advanced car
hopefully we get a
damage,
better resolution.
and real-time ray tracing on track lead to a generational leap in
Try to
immersion.
force it to 1080p
Right.
as opposed to auto.
This is the all-new Forza Motorsport.
Kind of would have liked to have seen weather.
Yeah, they didn't really show that.
Because it's not really a new thing.
Oh, I can't cut away now.
Flight Simulator?
Well, if it's Flight Simulator, I will go.
Yep.
I will cut away.
It's Flight Simulator.
Okay, 1 second, guys. I think that's better.
We'll see.
Yeah. It looks fine until things start moving, and that's when you can tell.
Yeah, it's funny how the amount of things happening on screen actually does impact the bitrate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's better. I think we got a good stream now.
This game is gorgeous, but I do not have the attention span, even as someone who loves planes.
I haven't touched it since the week it came out. And we played it for the show.
Like, if I had, like, the setup for it, like, the full, like,
oh,
you
yeah.
know, the whole thing, but I just...
Or if I was interested in becoming, like, a real pilot.
Yeah, running your own airline, like some people do.
Yeah, I don't know if that'll ever happen, but... Helicopters, yay!
Hooray, something more complicated.
Yeah, it's even harder to fly. Yeah. Yeah, that game's just a little bit too much for me. And I do know that they have a lot of assists and things like that, but...
Yeah, I mean, it's there's just no... Like, it is what it is.
It doesn't meet you in the middle.
Yeah, it is what it for itself. There's nothing
yeah.
pushing you. Well, you're adding the Pelican?
Here's one of your predictions coming to life.
Well, I can't tell. Is this Halo, or are they adding this to the Flight Simulator?
Oh, maybe you're right. Maybe that's what's happening. There was like a little video bump between the two, though.
Yeah.
No. Next, Blizzard.
Which one's your favorite?
Overwatch.
Overwatch 2.
Mine's Tracer. She's like, cheers, love, the cavalry's here.
Remember when you liked this game?
Well, we went and ruined it for you.
It's amazing. Everyone I knew who was so into Overwatch, like, they don't even care
They're
anymore.
bailing,
They
yeah.
do not care anymore.
I mean, they fundamentally changed the sport.
Yeah.
That's a huge risk that they decided to take, and it does not sound like it's paying off. Overwatch League is in deep crap, too.
Yeah.
I am your queen! Let's take him to the wasteland!
One punch is all I need.
But, you know, if it's free on Game Pass, it could have a resurgence for sure.
True.
I mean, they could do well. Everybody has access to it for free.
Nice work, team. Keep it moving.
I cannot wait to push. Draw.
Yippee-ki-yay! Boom, baby!
Check me out.
Get in there.
It takes a team to tango.
I haven't played this for a long time either.
Yeah.
Early access October 4th.
You'll like this one. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So wait, it just said that Overwatch 2 is going to be free to play, right?
I don't know.
I think it did.
No wasteland
Free to play?
Yeah.
has ever made it to the reckoning before.
It said early access.
I think before that, in the trailer, it said free to play.
I didn't see that.
But here I am. A free-for-all. With 0 rules. And the survivor gets the throne.
Welcome back, Chunkajack.
King Howell has never lost. Not in 13 years of rule.
On the battlefield.
Not until today.
The reckoning begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Did you really think this would be a fair fight?
What was that all about?
That's a new character.
Oh. I thought they were saying that there's going to be like a big narrative like campaign to play through.
No, it's at the beginning of that it said the newest champion.
Oh. I was too busy worried about it being free to play.
History is filled with moments of greatness. Some well known, some lost to time. But what about the history that could have been if you were its architect? How would you reshape the world? What
This
new
is
stories
the
would you
voiceover is the woman from The Flight Attendant. Do you watch that show on HBO Max?
tell? When your people speak,
She is
would you listen?
the leader of the Alcoholics Anonymous group that the lead star in the show goes to.
I know her voice. I mean, she's done a lot more.
Very
than that, I think.
distinctive, yeah. Well, she actually acts in this show.
History is filled with moments of greatness. But these will be yours.
Ara, History Untold.
Don't know that one.
It's good to be here, celebrating what's going to be our
There's a
biggest
person
year
again. This really is
includes a few of
just
the
trailer,
projects being developed
trailer.
across Bethesda's 8 studios.
Very little
starting
humanity
with
in this.
Redfall, and the world's first look at gameplay earlier in the show.
Pete.
Redfall is from the studio that brought us Dishonored and Prey. It's got so much of Arcane's DNA
Please
coursing
buy
through
this
its
one.
veins.
Yeah,
Compelling
please,
heroes,
because you
open
didn't buy
world
the other one.
campaigns,
Game Pass,
deep
I guess it doesn't matter.
customization.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Solo or with friends.
None of that
we
matters
can't wait
anymore
you to
for
play
Bethesda.
Redfall when it releases early next year. If you're looking for something to sink your teeth into right now, we've got the Elder Scrolls Online, where you can adventure alongside one of the biggest and most welcoming communities in gaming. This year, ZeniMax Online Studios is taking you somewhere that has never been explored in any Elder Scrolls game. The Elder Scrolls Online High Isle comes to Xbox next week.
For generations, the Breton elite have lived in safety and comfort. But now, the embers of dissent glow beneath the pomp and circumstance. And whispers of a sinister plot stoke the flames of war. At the heart of the conflagration
Surprised that they included this in this press event.
sits the Ascendant Lord.
I mean, they always show you so.
At Bethesda press events.
Yeah. I mean, it's a big cash cow. They have to.
I guess so.
They have to push it.
Legacy of the Bretons must
Is ESO free to play?
Yeah, but to do anything of value, you got to subscribe or
Oh.
pay for things.
So-
I mean, you got to buy this expansion.
But on Game Pass, it's all free?
Not that I remember.
Really?
I think there's like a mid-level thing you get. I don't know if you get the new expansion for free.
Bethesda Game Studios takes
Because
Fallout
Patrick
76
keeps
players
saying that like World
out
of Warcraft
Appalachia
is going to
for the
be
first
free.
time and returns to a beloved
I mean, some
location.
version of it probably.
Game
Missions to
Pass.
Pit is coming this
There's
year.
always going to be a reason to subscribe. Yeah, you're always going to have a reason to
There'll be
subscribe
some
to things.
incentive. I find it hard to believe that they're going to waive the $14 a month to play World of Warcraft and just give it to you for free on Game Pass. But hey, Game Pass in itself blows my mind, so maybe that is going to be the case.
Come join us at the pit.
Packer seems convinced of it,
Your
though.
arrival's the first good news we've had in a while.
I mean, I'm sure they will in
Might
some
not look
form.
like much. This place is our home, and together.
I can't believe they're showing this.
What else are they going to show?
Worshipping fanatics.
Nothing. More third-party stuff.
They got Starfield probably near the end, but that's about it.
Yeah. They won't give up.
I mean, this is a substantial, expansion. So.
It is. It just
It's one of your hometowns.
Is it?
Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah.
The pit.
Is it still set there?
No, this is the expansion. Is the pit?
Oh.
The like from Fallout 3.
Yeah.
Nothing can save the pit now. I don't know if you can.
Yeah. No one will ever say that Bethesda gives up on its games. That's for sure.
No.
They didn't give up on this.
I mean, I don't think they could. There's too much sunk cost.
It does sound like they've had a little bit of a revival since its launch, but
yeah, it is a better game now. Like
Yeah.
I played it at their last free thing, and like, I mean, it feels like Fallout. To its
Bethesda
credit.
Game Studios has been busy, and not just with Fallout 76. After defining the role-playing genre with hits like Morrowind, Oblivion, Skyrim, Fallout 3, and Fallout 4, they're going even bigger with Starfield. Later in the show, my good friend Todd Howard will be here to reveal more of their next epic RPG.
yeah. He just said they when talking about Bethesda instead of us or we. That's weird. Because he is Bethesda. I mean, it's Pete Hines.
Yeah, but they've always kind of drawn a line between Bethesda as a whole and like Bethesda's software, you know, like Todd's team.
I'm guessing it's going to be the Hot Wheels DLC.
Yeah, look at the orange track.
Yeah.
I mean, that's one of their best things ever.
It is.
So
they should bring it back for every game.
Yeah, this should just be an expected thing on all the Horizons.
Yeah.
Just always do this. Like the Lego one was fine, but like this is.
I actually didn't play the Lego one.
It wasn't this
as good.
Like, it was just the Hot Wheels thing is just a special. Like it just works. And it's so different from the main game, and it's.
Hey, Neo JD in the chat, man, stop spoiling stuff. I know you're watching like another stream that's a little bit ahead of this one. Like, if you don't stop spoiling things for the people viewing, we're gonna have to mute you in the chat, bro. I don't want to do it, but you gotta stop spoiling the press conference. Looks awesome like the other ones. Press event's starting to sag a little bit here in the middle, though.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much.
If you need to take a bathroom break, now might be the time.
Of a terrible war that happened across the sky. Heroes fought and died to give us a chance to start over.
Is this Ark?
Might be.
All that I know from their Earth are the creatures they sent along with us.
I see an extinct bird, so yeah.
And here on the Rot, every day is a fight.
I assume this is the girl that Vin Diesel was hanging out
Oh,
with
right,
in the original
right.
trailer. Artist of Power, Dino
Anyone
Riders.
can tame this new world. We can.
Is this one playable? Like, can I actually get into this in the way that I should with a game where you can ride dinosaurs? Like,
I really wanted to like this game.
yeah, same.
And I just couldn't. I tried a bunch of times, and I have nephews that love this game. Like, it's their favorite game.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, I go and check out their games, and they've built, like, mansions. Like, they have, like, shopping malls in, like, prehistoric
I'm
times.
sure I would have when I was a kid too. But I mean, like, I had so much patience with crap.
Me too.
The controls.
Yeah. Not
and
anymore,
that,
though.
yeah.
Game needs to onboard me, or I am offboarding. That was a really short trailer for Ark 2, by the way.
Oh, is this
Scorn.
that with Scorn? Yeah, I was
Still
gonna say,
hasn't come out. I'm surprised they're putting this in the press event, because this game is disturbing. Is a light way to put it. October
actual date.
21st. It's finally coming out.
And we thought fall would be empty.
There's PAX game that came out of nowhere to release.
I mean, it's a good Halloween release.
Yeah. But remember, that game was shown when the Series X was shown for the first time. And here we are.
They unleashed a pestilence on our world. No one yet knows if you can kill a god. I, for one, intend to find out.
Pretty generic.
Yeah, it does. Well, if a game like this made it in, sky's the limit now. Anything could be in this. All bets are off.
I mean, this is the same, or at least part of the same people as Scorn.
Yeah.
The same logo. So, God, the combat just looks completely
You can already
terrible.
tell the combat's crap.
It's just
You can
weightless.
just tell.
Yeah.
Giant enemy crap. For massive damage. Flintlock.
The Siege of Dawn. You're just putting words together now.
Early 23. Yep, I'll believe that when I see it.
I mean, the fox monster thing is cute. I mean, that is kind of nice, the reminder at the end where I'm like, I see some of these things, like, God, do I want to spend money on that? Oh, I don't have to.
Oh, yeah.
You're good. Yeah.
It's basically free.
Ooblets, or...
I mean, almost
Mojang.
everything in this has been free. Mojang.
New
Mojang
game.
has a new game?
What? At the same font, though.
What?
Legends hold great power.
It's Minecraft.
They are the dreams we weave.
Or is it just Mojang's art style now?
Story.
It must be like something set in Minecraft.
Some spin-off, yeah.
And the beauty of simplicity.
Is this like Sim City Minecraft or something?
That would probably be a really good idea.
Some tell of danger.
Tower defense.
And the end of all things. But the legends we hold dearest are legends of hope, of creativity, and of bravery.
Or is this just the second entry in that spin-off that they already made? What was that called again?
Forever.
They had that, was it made by Telltale or whatever?
No, this isn't story. This isn't a Telltale game. This is like some kind of strategy thing.
This is the legend of a united overworld. United by you.
Minecraft Legends. Action strategy.
Yeah, I'm good.
I think it looks pretty good, man.
I hate the Minecraft look.
Oh, really?
I really don't like it. I will never try to convince anyone else of that, but it's just, I hate looking at it.
I like action strategy. I like games that are action games that incorporate strategy in some way.
There's plenty of games like that that don't look like that.
Yeah.
If I want that.
The entrance.
I mean, that is kind of Mojang's house style, I guess.
Oh yeah, I don't begrudge him it. It's just not for me.
You wanted to make a new life for yourself.
Kind of reminds me of what was that one? What was the survival stuck on another planet game that was sort of like kind of like Outer Worlds?
From what era?
Oh, something of a Savage Planet or Journey to the Savage Planet.
Yeah.
It kind of had the same like satirical tone.
Yep.
With an unfeeling corporation.
Similar kind of art style too, really.
And while you explored, you uncovered a mystery. I'm sure we can get to the bottom of this. Together.
Lightyear Frontier.
Another survival game.
Just what we needed.
Oh, it's like Skylanders.
Empire Reborn. What the hell is this?
It's called the middle of the show, Shane.
Oh my god.
Roguelite action.
This is starting to look like a lot of the other press events that I saw for the last 3 days, where I'm like, what the hell are all these crappy games?
That's part of the strategy. Is like, in general, people remember the first things they see and the last things they see in a long thing. So you put this stuff in the middle, and then everybody just remembers Starfield.
You hope that they forget about it. It's like, why include it at all?
Because the deal's there. Because it's part of the thing. Because you have to promote the things that you are making
for Game Pass,
deals and paying for.
because they signed it for Game Pass, so they have to include it in their press event.
It's
or
a
whatever.
contract thing. Like, it's, you're gonna.
I mean,
there's some people that really want to play stuff like that. So you got to cater to. Yeah, of course. They wouldn't keep making all these things like that if they weren't. It's just not for us.
I mean, I just don't think that there's an audience for all the games that are coming. I just don't think there's.
Yeah, but you don't know which one's which. You have to throw it all at the wall.
Yeah,
like that's just how it works.
Maybe something sticks.
Yeah. Nobody would have thought Minecraft was going to be a hit either at the time.
I mean, I knew right away Minecraft was going to be huge. Like, we had people like waiting for the servers to go up, and they were buying it off of this crappy like website from like a GeoCities era. Like,
yeah, but you didn't predict it was going to become the defining game of an entire generation.
I mean, I could tell it was going to be gigantic.
Yeah.
At game trailers, it was
you
huge.
probably should have bought some stock then, because no one else saw it coming.
I don't think you could buy stock. They were a private company.
Yeah, but my point is, it was not expected. That game was not expected to do what it was. You never know what the next big thing is going to be. Fortnite. Who the fuck's up? The random free add-on battle royale mode in Fortnite.
Fortnite, I definitely didn't see.
Nobody
Minecraft, I saw though. Like, you just had to have been working at game trailers when it came out. Literally, everybody there was obsessed with the game. And like every little thing they'd add to it, everyone would go back at lunch and watch like the new element that they added to it. It was huge. And I remember watching them like put their money into that website, and I'm like, I wouldn't put my credit card on that website if I were you.
That was the thing that held me back from buying it for the longest time. Was like, back when it was like $14 on it. I was like, I think it was like $10, and it went up to 14. I'm like, I guess I'll get it so it doesn't pricing go up any further. But it's like, yeah, I really did not feel good about putting my credit card
that
info
website
there.
looked like a piece of trash.
It was, as Fahey would say, it was bait.
Yep.
But I did it, and I played it for like a day, and then I never touched it.
Me too.
Again.
Yeah, I've hardly played it at all. I've watched my little nephews just rip through that game, though. It's amazing how fast they can
Bonjour,
build
everyone.
stuff.
I am excited to be here today to tell you more about
You look
Interior
excited.
Night's first original creation, As Dusk Falls. It started with the desire to create a deep interactive experience all levels of players can enjoy together. Because stories are brilliant, universal tools that help us understand the heartbreaking beauty of life. This game is an
That's a very
uncompromising
profound
tale
statement.
of
Yeah, I was-
thrilling resilience
The heartbreaking
and sacrifice.
beauty of life.
Written like a prestige TV show with a unique motion graphic novel style that triggers the imagination. This is an interactive
And
story
saves on the animation
powered by
budget.
video games that gives you agency over the lives of far from perfect human beings. This is a thought-provoking experience you can play with people you love, discover insights about each other, and create
Is this
shared
a David
memories.
Cage game? Like,
As Dusk Falls
really
is
playing
an
this up.
emotional experience that we hope will
People in
leave
the
a
chat are
mark
like,
with
tone down the
everyone who
excitement. You're at
plays it.
11. I need an 8.
So I'm waiting for this trailer to change my life. Apparently, I don't-
Something's gonna happen. I'm afraid.
For most people, Turok is just a pit stop.
Wasn't taking the scenic route your idea?
But for us, it felt like a trap.
There's enough cash in that safe to put the last few weeks behind us.
that is a very strange presentational choice.
You were in the wrong
It's definitely
place at
unique.
the wrong time.
It's like Mortal Kombat gone wrong.
Now, it reminds me of a very old thing that I will bring up after the show. 'Cause
Okay.
It's too long a story to get into here. But it's not a pleasant memory.
None of us escaped that night.
It's okay.
Even those of us who made it out alive.
Why are you following me?
We've taken very different paths in life.
It's certainly a strange way to make a game. Like, my mind right now, I'm trying to think about how they made it, and I'm like, they just rented like a green screen studio and just took photos
Get rid
of
of the
these
cop.
actors doing what they needed for each frame.
Or they may well have recorded the
Say, you haven't
scenes
seen
and
three
just they're
fellas in a
taking
blue
frames
pickup,
from
have
You think so?
to trace over kind of thing. I think that they might
How
be
you liking the
rotoscoping.
Desert
a bit.
Dream?
Oh, can't complain.
Can I
But like
ask what
the
brings
fact
you
that
to Turok?
non-human things are animated smoothly is very weird.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this: it piqued my curiosity. I will give it a try, just purely
Interesting.
for the art style to see how they pull it off.
July 19th.
Yeah.
8 players. I wouldn't have thought that would be interesting.
What do you mean by 8
It
players?
says up to 8 players.
You can play it together, like cooperatively?
I guess.
Wow.
I didn't quite understand how that worked.
Yeah,
watching
that's
that.
weird. For a minute there, I thought that the stream dropped back to like 720p, but then I'm like, no, it's just the game. It's just the way they rendered the trailer for this game. This is a big dead zone in the middle of this press event. I really didn't think Naraka Blade Point would make it into the Xbox press event.
Certainly not a full minute and a half trailer for it. It's,
No. Oh, because it's on Game Pass.
it's like a week, 2 weeks from now.
Yeah.
All right.
It is interesting, though, to your point about how Microsoft has to sign these deals and commit to stuff like this. Is it worth it? Because
if it wasn't, they wouldn't do it.
Yeah. I mean, it weakens your presentation overall. Or does it? Or is it like a cumulative effect with Game Pass where people are like, you know what, it's free, so...
Yeah.
I don't know. Look, I mean, look at this one. This game looks like we made it, Matt. What in the actual hell is this?
Yeah, it's like an historical action adventure game. Reminds me of there's like a couple of point-and-click adventure like puzzle games on PC that are like based on like medieval art, like those old weird medieval art things. Like they're actually pretty good.
Yeah,
they're funny. This is more of a hand-drawn look to it. Most unexpected.
This is from Obsidian? What the hell? Well, I asked what was Obsidian gonna show, and I just got my answer.
Well, it's not. This is a very bold choice for Outer Worlds 2. But
wouldn't that blow people's minds?
Pentiment.
Pentiment. What the hell?
November. There's your big fall game. There it is. Don't need Starfield. We got Pentiment. I mean, that doesn't. I'm kind of interested in that.
I am not.
I like adventure things like that.
Kids, are you ready for a new wild and wacky fruit flavor? Introducing Apricot. Stop by. Make sure you get your Billy Hog hot dog.
Special breaking report. More local teenagers have gone missing. This could be linked to the disturbing trend of missing teenagers from our otherwise quiet town.
I mean, I'm surprised they're showing this too.
It's the Obsidian block, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Please contact the police department.
Hello, micro friends. Great news! Virgil
this
knows
game
you
has
might
been
be a little homesick, but that can be
so
repaired.
long.
First, you will need to survive beyond
This thing hit early access, what, almost 2.5 years ago?
Yeah, it's really old.
insects and treacherous wastelands.
Looks a lot better than I remember it.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my memory chip is a little rusty, but with a little maintenance,
I liked what I played of it.
It was okay. Combat felt detached from the combat.
before someone or something terminates your tiny existence.
I was amused by the arachnophobia slider.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, like I said, they're gonna get 1.0 things for this now.
Took a while. Well, maybe now's a good time to jump back in, because I didn't spend a whole lot of time with it.
It's usually worth revisiting early access things when they go 1.0.
Yeah.
Especially if you already have access to them.
September.
World premiere.
All right, it's time to bring the goods. We're an hour into this thing now.
Oh, Fury.
Another indie.
They search for someone who does not exist. The shadow. The forgotten child of a scattered race. Lost until now. Now they have awakened the Erebon. Now they have awakened me. But I am not their hope. I am their reckoning. They will not drag me into their light.
Erebon.
Because their light is a lie.
2023. Dude, these indies got to be loving it, man. They're like, you know what? We can put our stuff on Game Pass. We can make way more money than we would have made. And we're going to get a spot in the Xbox press conference.
I speak now.
For people who don't own an Xbox.
Is it State of Decay?
Well, I guess zombies are supernatural, but
I mean, that looked like a zombie deer to me, but
Those bold enough to cross
the zombie
line
dog.
of sin for deeper knowledge, who follow an unquenchable yearning, born of blood and bone.
Gino Mike is asking, is Phil Spencer going to make an appearance at this event? He absolutely will. There's no
yeah,
doubt
I would think so.
about it. He will show up eventually.
Secrets and foulest black.
He will probably show up at the end to touch on all the keystones from the press event, and then to...
That magic looks kind of a Pillars of Eternity-ish.
Yeah. And then he'll probably toss to, like, the biggest reveal or whatever from the press event. That's my guess.
To truly embrace this power, you must take it into the world. And you will be shunned, scorned, marked as a living sacrifice to this profane knowledge. You will be a priest of Rathma, a necromancer.
Diablo?
And you will not confront the darkness alone.
Diablo 4?
We are the speakers of
Looks like a
the
Diablo
dead.
necromancer to me.
And the dead have no mercy.
Yep, Diablo 4. Release date, maybe?
A new class. At least the necromancer's there at launch. Like, that's good news to me. I like my necromancer's my favorite Diablo class. So.
I'm very
A lot of
excited
people
to
seem to
announce
like
our
it.
fifth and final class, the Necromancer, a commander of the undead who joins the other iconic
I
classes
didn't like having to
around the
wait for the
campfire in
Necromancer
Diablo
in 3.
4. These include the mighty barbarian, the elemental sorceress, the crafty rogue, and the powerful druid. And you'll want them because the demon Lilith, the daughter of hatred, has returned and spreading corruption and evil as she fights to reclaim our dark gothic world as her own. And it's up to you to stop her. Now, Diablo 4 is the culmination of the 25-year
months?
history of the franchise.
That's right, they said
Building
next
on
12
top of
months.
the best of what's
Everything
come
in
before
this is
with
next 12
some,
months.
you know, unique twists all its own. So let's dig a little deeper by watching, for the first time I might add, some Xbox Series X gameplay, while hearing from a few of the many people behind the game.
Yeah, I didn't expect a Diablo 4 blowout.
How about if it ends up releasing at the end of the year? If this is the big one that slides in. Packer's good friends with Rod Ferguson, by the way, I might add.
With a fully realized open world.
It's not for the faint of heart. It's gory and unnerving. It's creepy.
That would be a good consolation prize for,
It would.
for no Starfield. But
Yeah.
Ambitious. 2 Diablo games in a year.
I mean, it's only been in development for like a decade, so.
Yeah, well.
With all the new features that people really love and appreciate.
As
in
Gabe
modern
Newell
games.
says, these things take time.
Yeah, I mean, look, Rod was brought in to get the game out like
Rod's a
3
closer.
years ago.
Yeah,
He's the
This
closer.
is the man that got Bioshock Infinite on shelves.
Robust
Yeah.
character customization, because then I can play the fantasy that I want to play.
And that was a while ago, so I don't know, there's a possibility.
It allows you to switch around your playstyle as well.
Everything feels very powerful and fun.
One of the really cool things about having an open world is your journey that you take throughout Diablo 4 is your own. There's no linear path that you have to follow.
It looks pretty amazing.
We've got almost 150 dungeons in the game.
There's all kinds of surprises as you're exploring.
Strongholds are an enemy territory that you need to reclaim.
You might have a space that begins as a hostile area, but after you've cleared it out,
The evil in this place has been cleansed.
it now becomes a friendly town.
Sometimes it's a new town,
Super
sometimes
friendly.
it's a new dungeon. There's a whole bunch of rewards that you get. And you have a real impact on the world as a result.
No, you can't leave us here. They might come back any moment.
Local events are really cool little story segments that happen within the open world.
You'll just be running through the world, and then a local event will pop up, and you can choose to
Just
participate.
think about how
in
many
it.
more people are going to be able to play a new
Or get a
Diablo
group together
game
and
in its
just
full
wail on
glory
these, like, giant world
for the
bosses.
first time. People who have never owned like powerful rigs just because they have an
These are
Xbox Series
events that take a
console.
lot of people, and you really
Maybe
have
got
to
to
work
get a great
together.
experience for this game.
Being able to see all the players on your screen, collaborating, trying to take this big monster down, it's
I
epic.
actually did play 3 more on console in the end because of the controller.
Yeah,
controls.
a lot of people.
Like,
It's so
it was
easy
better.
to create a community. It makes Diablo more of a social experience.
We've got
I don't
fully
need
enabled
more
crossplay.
social experience for
If
Diablo.
you have an
I think.
Xbox
Yeah,
and
you
your buddy has a
established that
PC,
with
you're gonna
Diablo
be able to
Immortal.
group up.
You were not a fan of it.
Couch co-op.
No.
2 people on a couch can sit there.
I
and
got
have a
it.
great
That would be an
experience.
option, sure, but don't force me to look at everybody's stupid name with numbers at the end of it.
zones where players can engage in PvP.
If you go there, you can start swinging away at people.
I've just
But
never
you're also
ever
opening yourself
cared about
up to
PvP
being
in
swung
Diablo.
at.
Like just
Yeah,
I
me
know
neither.
that it's just people constantly doing
If you're
stuff. It's like
really,
who
really
cares?
good, the game actually marks you as
Even
like,
in my
a champion
multiplayer
on the
days,
map.
I never understood what the draw was on things like that.
The mechanics of
it's
this
just
game-
It's just gear.
You
It's just
basically become a
who
loop pinata,
grinded the
and
most
everyone
gear
worships
for
you
it.
now.
Who cares?
Yeah.
The last story mission is really the beginning of a whole different part of the journey.
Yeah, we
now
know.
you're set up for the end game, and that end game is rich with things to do that allow you to
Which is
get
where
more and more
Immortal is
powerful.
falling on its
Whether
face.
it's new items or new dungeons or new Paragon boards, every single
Oof.
time you come back to
That's a
play
skill
Diablo
tree
4,
to
there's
have.
going to
Holy
be new
crap.
stuff for you to experience.
And it's something that we're going to support for years to come.
I'm really excited.
Progress?
for
I don't know
folks
what
to
that
get their
was,
hands
some
on
kind of-
Diablo 4.
Just to see
Some
millions
kind
of
of
people
something.
really enjoying
This game looks pretty
the different
awesome.
options.
It's very
Do a
nice.
campaign,
Yeah.
Local events.
Couch co-op,
Endgame.
PvP.
Like good
it
balance of the
almost
dark
doesn't
kind
end.
of traditional Diablo look with like color
And we are
pops here
so
and there.
close.
Yep.
All hell breaks loose. There's been up nights coming up with that one. 2023.
Okay, give us a release date. 2023, you bastards. Well, at least we know it'll be out before June of 2023. Or the end of
Or
June.
they think it will.
Well, that's what they're saying, Matt.
Sea of Thieves.
Yeah.
Still going.
Still chugging along. Maybe this is the rare block. This is where I get my banjo.
Now that you can finally be a captain, can you imagine owning your own ship, decorated with what you acquire? Then to satisfy your vanity, as long as there's no profanity, you can name it just how you desire. Oh, to set sail as a pirate captain, does boatloads of new features we proclaim. Oh, to set sail as a pirate captain, that's why we really think that you should play this game.
And it's available with Xbox Game Pass, of course.
Oh, to set sail as a pirate captain,
I haven't played this game in a long time either.
adventure will come knocking on your door. Oh, to set sail as a pirate captain, and you'll be amazed at what we have in store. The choice is yours, whatever captain you may be. Whether that's gold looting, no scope shooting, rowboat racing, or embracing, everybody's welcome in this game. So come set sail as a pirate captain. Our time is almost up, so as we leave, if you want to be a pirate captain, come do it in season 7 of Sea of Thieves.
I mean, that's very rare, that trailer.
It seems like I've already been the captain.
No, you had to be a crew. Like, you could never run your own ship before.
I mean,
as a single player.
I've literally driven a ship by myself in that game and
yeah,
done
but
everything.
it's never built for that.
It's a pain in the
incredibly
ass, but you can do
difficult.
it.
But it looks like they're making that be a more viable gameplay option.
Yeah.
Which might bring me back to it, because
Maybe.
I'll try it. It's free. Actually, I already own that game, so I bought it.
Yeah. Let me guess, another Game Pass deal.
Probably. This is like Kena Bridge of Souls, except made by someone who watched a lot more of Nightmare Before Christmas. With a little bit of Viva Pinata thrown in, weirdly enough.
It does have that art style. Ravenlock.
Ravenlock. It's a cool name.
Yeah.
Doesn't have a colon and a subtitle. I give it credit for that.
It's the first game. Yeah.
World premiere.
Console launch exclusive.
Annapurna.
Another indie.
Indie darling.
Scorpius Finance says, is Game Pass hurting Xbox's lineup of games? Seems like a lot of bloatware. I was mentioning this earlier, like we were wondering, like, does this help or hurt? Is it one of those things where somebody watching this says, there's so much, or is it a situation where someone watching this says, man, there's a lot of crap? Like, I don't know. It's a delicate balance to walk for sure.
I mean, you don't have to play any of them.
Yeah. But, you know, people watch this to see what's the hot stuff. You know?
People watch this stuff because they want to see Starfield. You know, no non-hardcore people are watching this. And
you don't think?
No, of course not. No, most people don't even know this exists.
But Matt, you contend that like we don't need E3 anymore to reach the casuals because of stuff like this.
Well, because the things that reach the casuals are the mass market marketing. Like still only really reaches us. Like no casual player I know knew this was happening when I mentioned it this morning.
Yeah.
Like you got to follow the industry at least a little bit to know that this is even occurring today. Zombie Warriors?
Oh, Team Ninja.
Is this another Neo?
Don't know.
Or is it that? What's that one? That one that begins with a T? Toad. I don't remember. Oh, same game.
It's not Ninja Gaiden though. That's what I was like at first. I was like, oh my god, are we seeing the new Ninja Gaiden?
No.
Why? Why won't they make a new one?
Because the people who made the other ones great are not there anymore. There is no possible way a new Ninja Gaiden wouldn't just be disappointing.
Wo Long? What the hell? I like the look of that game though. The art style.
Do not fight Lu Bu. I mean, it looks like a horror take on the Romance of the Three Kingdoms thing.
It does, yeah. So do you think Ninja Gaiden's done?
I don't
think we'll ever see another one?
I don't see a reason to make another Ninja Gaiden.
Wow.
The people who made those
Japan
original
is the
games
home
great are gone.
To some of the most talented
You just end up with
and
another Ninja
well-known
Gaiden 3.
game creators anywhere in the world.
There's Phil.
We're thrilled to be
Answering your
working
question.
with Koei Tecmo to bring Wo Long Fallen Dynasty to Game Pass day one. I'm also excited to be working with Team Ninja, who has a long history of building incredible action games for Xbox, and it's great to be working with them once again. We know how important it is to our fans to continue to bring more Japanese franchises to Xbox. I'm excited to
really that
announce the
important?
return of one of the most highly requested and beloved franchises to Xbox from our partners at Atlas.
At Atlas?
Persona?
Persona 6? Exclusive to Xbox?
Or comes to Xbox.
Oh.
I mean, if this thing's on Game Pass on Xbox and not on PlayStation Plus, that's a
win.
Oh, Persona 3 Portable.
What?
And Golden? Yeah, that's 4.
So it sounds like the Persona collection is coming to Game
Something
Pass.
like that. I mean, I knew they were. I know they were porting these to PlayStation as well. It's good to rescue these from the Sony handhelds.
Yep.
There's the dance ones or something. Oh no, there's just 5.
Yep. I mean, are people really asking for Japanese games? Like,
I mean, somewhat. Yeah, like
somebody is, but
the more people who can play Persona, the better. I think.
Yeah.
There's no reason to keep it trapped on PlayStation. I mean, did wonders for Yakuza to put it on Game Pass and stuff. Like a lot more people discovered that game through that.
Persona 5 Royal.
No, sadly, I'm more interested in the other two because I like both 3 and 4 better than 5. But still, that's good news.
Now, I'm excited to announce a special partnership between Xbox Game Studios and one of the greatest creative minds and innovators in our industry.
Here comes Kojima.
Someone that I have admired for many years. Today, I'm pleased to share we will be working together to create a brand new experience like we've never seen before.
Thank you, Phil. こんにちは、小島秀夫です。ずっと作りたかったゲームがあります。それは誰も体験したことも見たこともない全く新しいものです。それが作れる日が来るのをずっと待っておりました。マイクロソフトの最先端クラウドテクノロジーと
going back to the cloud, huh? All right.
その未知なる構想への挑戦がようやく可能となりました。少し時間はかかるかもしれませんが、これから、Xbox ゲームスタジオと提携し、皆さんに喜んでいただけるニュースをお届けしていきたいと思います。
Please be excited.
ご期待ください。
Thank you, Kojima-san. We're thrilled to have Kojima Productions working with our teams at Xbox Game Studios. Today, for the first time ever, we have focused on showing you games that you can play over the next 12 months.
Vincent makes a good point. I bet that's not coming in the next 12 months.
A diverse
this is,
lineup
yeah, exactly. This is supposed to be all games coming in the next 12 months.
Well, they didn't show a game, did they?
That's true.
Just announced the partnership.
That's true. Will be coming to Game Pass every single month, including Naraka Blade Point.
So it looks like this is a 90-minute presentation, and we have 10 minutes left for Starfield.
Persona 5 Royale,
and he's going to toss to it right here, and that's it.
Scorn, just to name a few. And we start 2023 with the launches of some of the most anticipated titles from the teams at Xbox and Bethesda. Redfall, Minecraft Legends, Starfield, Forza Motorsport, and more. This has been an incredible year as we achieved record growth
really hasn't
across
been.
console.
I mean, incredible is one word for it.
Millions of people
What are you
playing
talking
our games
about, dude?
every single day.
It's been a terrible year
And
for
we have
Xbox.
you to thank for
Incredible simply means hard to believe.
that.
Yeah, that's true.
Joining us through
Dictionary
Xbox Cloud
definition.
Gaming, or our longest fans playing on Xbox and PC. We could not have done this without you. A year ago, we welcomed the talented studios at Bethesda Softworks to Xbox. Their teams have been hard at work, bringing their franchises to Game Pass, shipping updates to their games, and building new experiences for you to enjoy. We know
Just
that
not this year.
everyone has been eager to see Starfield.
Well,
our show today.
That's 4 years in a row striking out with Banjo.
So
For
it's
me,
only
I'll never
fitting
give up now,
that we
Matt. I'm
end
in
it
too deep.
With an extended first look at one of the most anticipated
Told you they
games
canceled it
in
as soon as you
Xbox
brought it up.
history.
Yeah, they're just
This
like, that's it. Shane
is
did it
Starfield.
again. We're canceling it. All right, here's Starfield. Finally.
Starfield. All right, Bethesda, show me NASA punk.
Yeah, that's right.
I
That's
know
what
they
they're
haven't
calling it.
used that word again.
Where's Todd? I thought he was going to show up.
I'm sure he'll pop up after this.
It's hard to express how excited all of us at Bethesda are to be here with you today. We're so grateful you're spending the time, and we know you've waited a long time to finally see Starfield. It's easily our most ambitious game ever. Like our previous games, it's an epic role-playing game where you get to be who you want and go where you want. But this time, you'll be exploring space. So let's jump right in. This is early in the game as you arrive on the mysterious moon of Crete.
I'm just glad we're gonna have some B-roll from this game that we can run.
Yeah. I can't remember who it was, but it was some writer and some journalist, and he's like, God, I just hope we see Starfield, so I have to put this same render screenshot of the side
It's
view
a
of the
helmet,
astronaut
yeah.
in this. He's like, if I have to put this in one more article about Starfield, I'm going to cry.
Yeah.
Like I just want new pictures.
I'm actually gonna take Matt and I out of this frame so you guys can see this game full frame.
According to the scanners, the abandoned research facility is in this direction.
Oh, you're scanning plants.
No, Matt.
You got my attention.
You got Matt's attention.
Scan the crab thing. I want to see you scan some crab things. You know what I'm here for, Todd.
The music is definitely appropriately epic.
Yeah, right. You better walk away. Giant enemy crabs. I do like that they're not just automatically attacking. Like some kind of ecosystem would be nice to see in some of these worlds.
Yeah, for sure. Mining.
Iron mining.
Straight out of No Man's Sky. I do wonder how many analogs there are going to be between this and No Man's Sky.
Mm-hmm. I expect it to be kind of like a halfway point between No Man's Sky and Skyrim.
Yeah.
No Man's Skyrim.
No Man's Skyrim, there you go.
It would appear that pirates of the Crimson Fleet are using the facility.
Well, they did want to be a pirate captain.
Gunplay better be better than Fallout 76, I'll tell you that much.
To some degree, it would have to be.
It can't be any worse.
Pirate.
It just says pirate. Interesting. This is actually a gameplay trailer. It's not just raw gameplay. That gun sounds good.
Oh, lockpicking.
In space. I like how there's like different gravity. Like those boxes were like a little floaty.
Because you're on a moon.
Yeah.
Nope. Shot the jetpack out.
Oh, snap.
After some initial encounters, you're invited to join Constellation, who, in the future the game is set in, are the last group of space explorers. To meet them, you'll head to the capital city of New Atlantis.
Have they said yet what year this is supposed to be set?
Yeah, it said at the beginning it was like 2330.
2330?
Something like that. It says at the very beginning of that teaser.
We have a lot to talk about. We're all here because we're committed to the biggest question of all.
These character models don't look great.
I mean, it is still the same engine.
These artifacts could be everything we've been looking for.
I didn't expect this to look like next gen.
I did, unfortunately.
Why? It's been in development for 6 years.
That's why. Because it's been in development for 6 years.
No, they're working on old tech. There's no way it was ever going to look anything better than this. The machinery looks good.
Yeah, it does.
The new guy found it. You dug up the artifact, right? That means you saw
I mean, it looks better than any of their other character models ever have.
Yeah, but after playing stuff like Horizon, Forbidden West...
Oh, sure. But
scattered across the galaxy.
You got to adjust expectations for what's happening. Like, I'm not expecting anything truly next gen out of them till Elder Scrolls.
The man who sold me this told me that it spoke to him.
Of course, the settled systems is full of groups with other priorities.
That's the Crimson Fleet!
Everybody get ready!
The fleet doesn't follow the rules. Agree to work for UCC Steph. Together, we take down these cutthroat pirates.
We're not just here to shoot the bad guys. We're peacekeepers. We protect the people of the Free Star Collective. When you sign up with the Crimson Fleet, no one quits. The only way out is death.
The path ahead may be dangerous. But we are not stopping.
Most Dusties don't even make it this far.
Because whatever lies at the end of this road will change humanity forever.
That gives you a look at the stories in Starfield. But ultimately, it's not our story. It's the story you create by who you are and the choices you make. And that starts with character creation. It's our most flexible yet. You can customize all the elements of how you look. You'll pick a background that gives you 3 starting skills.
Says here you spent some time as a diplomat. Having a way with words might prove useful.
There are optional traits, and these come with
Introvert.
unique advantages and disadvantages. But it's not just in how you can look, but in how your character plays and develops. The skill system combines the best from our previous games, and you can unlock new skills as you level up, and then you rank those skills up by using them and completing challenges. And there's deep crafting systems, from running research projects with resources you find to crafting weapon mods needed to survive.
I like the color timing on the different planets.
And you can build your own outposts. These act as
Of course
a home
you
away from
can.
home for survival and
Well, at least they
resource
get a
generation.
top-down option
You
now.
can choose
Like,
where and how to build
my
each
big
one.
complaint about Bethesda
And you can
construction
hire
things is
characters
having to
you
do
need
it in
to
first
keep it up and
person.
running.
Yeah. You didn't like that in Fallout
That's
4.
not all.
Hated
The
it.
outpost stuff.
No, I hated it.
Well, you
can
can tell that
even
was their
build
training wheels for
your
this.
own spaceships.
Oh, Matt. Your own spaceship, buddy.
You can choose crew members. And yes, you can completely customize the look and layout.
Nice.
There's loads of different modules.
When do I get to
ship
repaint my
manufacturers,
ship?
and
Hello,
more.
games.
I have to say, it's so cool. We just absolutely love this.
Yeah, that's neat.
It's not just how the ship looks, it's how it performs. From engines to shields to weapon systems. Because yes, you can fly it.
Oh, yeah.
You better.
I mean... This is very much like a more narrative-driven No Man's Sky, to me.
I mean, it's, I got some of the same ideas. No Man's Sky is more survival, crafting focused, I
Yeah.
think.
Or at least it appears that way right now. It does. Who knows?
I mean, it's all definitely speaking my language.
Yeah, Matt, this is right in your wheelhouse, bro. This game is... This should just be called Matt Kyle, the video game.
We can't wait for all of you to experience the game. Thanks again for
But
being
you're
with
gonna
us
have
today.
to.
Yeah.
Thanks for all the support you've given us over the decades, especially on this game. It's been an incredible journey for us making it, but we know that's really only the beginning, for it's when all of you play it that the real journey begins. And
Todd's
you may
kind
be
of got a
wondering
rugged
just
explorer
how
look
big is this
shaping
game?
up here.
Yeah.
So we thought we'd take one last moment and show you. Let's take a look at one of our planets, Jemison. You can land into Atlantis, but you can also land and explore anywhere on the planet.
Hmm.
And it's not just this planet, it's all the planets in the system. From barren but resource-heavy ice balls to Goldilocks planets with life. And not just this system, but over 100 systems.
Damn.
Over 1,000 planets, all open for you to explore. We can't wait to see what you find.
All right, that's a good reason to take like 10 years to make this game. Fine.
Matt, I'm just watching this and I'm like, this is Matt Kyle's game right here. Just everything about it. Right from the beginning with the scanning, like it's just one box checked after another for you.
You know, I was hoping it would be.
Yeah.
And you know, there are like, you know, smaller, like more independent games that do sort of similar ideas on certain different scales, but like I was waiting for, you know, a big AAA developer to make something like that.
Yeah.
And here we are.
Here it is. Still no word on a release date, but next 12 months, I guess, right?
I mean, I think they're trying for spring, so we'll see. I mean, look, I can wait for that. Don't put that out broken. Break everyone's hearts. At least not
Johnny
more.
Hurricane says, we can't wait for the bugs we'll find.
Mm-hmm. The giant crab-like bugs.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
Game Pass?
Yeah.
No. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
there it is. They had to have that. I mean,
gotta admit, I'll
it's gonna
probably
sell
just buy that one. Like,
Yeah.
I think unless those like the collector's edition is complete nonsense, I will probably be getting a physical copy of that one.
Yeah. And here's our closing montage.
Here's all the other things that you forgot after you saw that Starfield footage.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, Hellblade 2 is not coming out in the next year.
No. There's a lot of games that are not coming out in the next year. A lot.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much every game we previewed in the preview of this.
Yeah. Although you want like something like Stalker, maybe it's not on Game Pass.
Maybe.
Because everything in this was on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So that might be also another dividing line.
That's true.
No Avatar.
No Avatar, yep.
No
You
Eevee.
called that right.
Although now I'm thinking that maybe it's not so much related to the Avatar's the marketing strategy so much as they're not putting it on Game Pass.
That's true. Yeah. And I was kind of wrong with my other prediction of like big third parties on Game Pass. There was a lot of games for Game Pass. That part of it I got right, but
Yeah.
there were no big third party games.
Yeah, unless I mean the League of Legends and stuff. But,
Yeah.
I mean that's a big partnership.
Yeah, but still, that's not what I was getting at. So I was wrong on that one.
Not even a hint of Avowed.
Well, snap! Not even a hint of Avowed, you're right.
And there was no Halo rehabilitation.
Nope, no Halo rehab. They didn't even show really anything from Halo other than that ship.
Just the flight simulator add-on.
Flight simulator. Yeah. Wow. All right, well, I can take out my earpiece. Well, there you go, people. There it is. Xbox and Bethesda's, and I'm going to say it again, E3 2022 press event. Man, a lot to get to here. So Matt and I are going to provide our analysis. We're not going to talk about everything that was shown because, in all honesty, a lot of stuff isn't worth, I don't feel like, discussing. But we're going to talk a good bit here about what we just saw. And then at the end, we're going to leave open a good period for you guys to ask your questions and get your opinions on the press conference into the show as well. Matt, what are the 3 things that stick out the most to you from that press event?
Like games or just in general?
Whatever. Yeah.
Fall is rough. Like
Or
there's stuff,
non-existent.
There's stuff, but there's no like marquee stuff.
Yeah.
Game Pass is their entire strategy. Like not a single thing in that press conference, whatever presentation or you're going to call, not a single thing in that is something they're trying to sell you.
No.
Every single thing they want you to get a Game Pass subscription.
That was a 90-minute commercial for Game Pass.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it's going to be from now on.
Yeah, and yeah, I guess I gotta wait a year for Starfield. That looks real cool, but it's again like the excitement has to be tempered because there's a lot of time to wait, and like who knows if it'll even still make spring. You know, would it shock you to see Starfield slip to fall 2023?
No,
not me.
Not in the least. It really wouldn't. Now, some people will only watch our analysis part of this, and they won't watch the live commentary that Matt and I did. Just so you know, everything that was shown in this press conference and everything that Matt and I are going to discuss, according to Microsoft, is going to be released in the next 12 months. So by June of 2023, everything that was in this, everything Matt and I are going to discuss will have been released. Allegedly. We'll see how that works out. As Matt just said, the chances of Starfield being delayed to Q4 of next year, 50-50.
Not nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, I would say 50-50. And Matt, if you could get the game by next June, and it's a typical open world Bethesda action RPG, which a lot of people in chat were talking about, and there's a lot of bugs and other issues, would you prefer to wait until Q4 to get the cleaner game? Or would you rather just start playing early and let them sort it out while you're playing?
I mean, I can sort it out. Well, I can wait for them to sort it out, like, while I'm playing. Like, I've played Bethesda games before at launch. They're fine. You're talking about somebody who really enjoyed the original launch of No Man's Sky. I can put up with a lot if you're in my preferred genre.
No, I never let you finish, actually. What were the other two big touch points for you on this?
Well, those were the two. Like,
well, I asked you for three, but
the third, I don't know. I mean, they got a big lineup of varied things they're throwing at the wall, I guess, but like, it doesn't feel that like, it's not, for whatever reason, it's not as irritating to me when it's Game Pass, because it's like, well, I could try it if I want to. You're not trying to sell me anything, really. You're not trying to expect me, I don't look at it, it's like, you expect me to put $30 or $40 away for that? Well, no, you just expect me to download it and maybe try it. That's fine.
Yeah.
It's not as irritating, I think, as it doesn't feel as much like a sales pitch as like, a Sony middle of a Sony conference just firing like indies I've never heard of at me. I don't know, it was fine. Like, it did not, again, it's about what I kind of expected. I was not blown away by anything. There were no big surprises. Starfield looks cool. See you next year.
All right, let's start going through some of the stuff that was shown. The show kicked off with Redfall, which is, how did you describe it? Left for Vampires, I think.
Left for Blood.
Yeah, Left for Blood. It's basically a cooperative 4-player cooperative shooter.
Yeah.
Where you're taking on vampires instead of zombies. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. Seems like to me anyway. How did that game hit you?
Didn't.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I like the concept of it and the setting. Like, I would probably watch a Netflix show about it, but I have no interest in 4-player co-op. I mean, I played Left 4 Dead for like 300-400 hours.
Yeah.
I never need to play that kind of thing again.
I'll be honest with you, Back 4 Blood kind of turned me off to the subgenre. I did not play Left 4 Dead as much as you. I did play it a good bit, but Back 4 Blood, it just never really snagged me. I played it enough to come and talk about it intelligently on Game Face, but once I was done with that, I think I went back maybe for 2 more sessions before I just quit playing altogether. So I'm with you. Like, I'm not really into the save house to save house, like, cooperative shooter thing.
No. I would play like an action RPG or adventure game set in that world, but I have no interest in a 4-player co-op shooter in it. I don't.
Now,
that's not even something I find interesting in terms of, I don't find fighting vampires with guns to be an interesting idea, really.
Yeah.
The superpowers are more interesting in terms of how the characters are designed. But again, I never need to play that kind of game again. Like, it's it's not Redfall's fault.
Yeah.
Like, I burned out on that playing Left 4 Dead too much back in the day, and I don't ever feel the need to go back to it.
I do think it will do very well on Game Pass because
I think it's a good Game Pass game. Like, it guarantees a healthy community.
Yeah, Back 4 Blood did not do great at retail. It did okay, but it did very well on Game Pass. So it does seem like there's an audience for these types of games on a service like that. But yeah, I would say my hype level for that game was like a B+ before this press event, and now it's a B- or a C+, I would say. It's not what I expected, I guess. I didn't think it was just going to be a Left 4 Dead clone.
That's interesting. That is exactly what I expected.
Yeah, I could tell from the minute they started showing it that you thought that. Yeah. I did not. I thought it was going to be something a little different, but it's not. So
you got break pointed again.
Yeah, I guess I did actually. That's a good point. Bringing that one back. Next up, Hollow Knight Silksong.
Cool.
No release date other than coming in the next 12 months.
Yeah.
That's just eternally the question is like when is that game?
Was that the only like game that far along that didn't even have a year on it?
I think. I mean, that might be the only. Yeah. Why is it taking
good luck,
so
fantasy
long?
team.
I know. My fantasy team's already done. I don't know what I'm even talking about at this point. Probably the biggest announcement was Riot, the partnership with Riot coming to Game Pass. League of Legends with all the champs, that's a big deal. If you were to spend real money to buy those, you're talking literally probably $1,000 or more.
Yeah.
You're getting them all.
And that's, I mean, if you're into League of Legends and you don't, you get a little irritated about it. Oh, I want to play this champion. It's not in the rotation. I haven't bought it yet. Like, that's a tempting Game Pass sub.
It is.
Right there, just to have access to everything.
It's a real piling on effect for Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's like you wouldn't get Game Pass just for that. Some people would, but a large group of people would not get Game Pass just for that partnership with Riot.
Yeah, but some of the like deals you can get on Game Pass, especially for the first year, like that's pretty darn good, especially compared to what you'd pay to have the access, through Riot itself. Like
it could convince some fence sitters to get on board.
I definitely understand why they wanted that for Game Pass, why they wanted that to be the deal.
So I think that's a good deal, and I think it will bear fruit for Xbox. Plague Tale Requiem, coming this year, ended up being one of the bigger third-party games in this. Do you find it odd? And look, I'm excited for that game. We were both fans of it when we talked about the first one on Game Face. But still, it just seems like, in general, in this press event, that Microsoft could have aimed much higher with the content in the show.
Not if everything had to be on Game Pass.
Yeah, it does seem like that was a stipulation for this. It's like, if you're not on board with Game Pass with us, then you're not getting a spotlight.
Yeah, this was a Game Pass showcase.
It's really bizarre, huh, to watch it change.
Yeah, I mean, that's their
thing.
Bread and butter. That's their whole strategy now.
Yeah. Forza Motorsport, up next. What'd you make of that?
It's Forza.
Pretty much exactly.
Also, we were right. There's no number.
Yeah.
They're just calling it Forza Motorsport.
They're rebooting it, yeah. Which makes me believe it's going to be a game as a service that lives on and on for a long time.
Something like that, yeah.
So, yeah, I wouldn't expect another entry in this franchise for 5-6 years after this.
Yeah, I feel like they're probably moving to a one per console model.
Which is smart. That's what they should be
That's what that
doing.
game should be, probably. Like, and Horizon can have regular installments.
It makes more and more sense as the fidelity of these games keeps
improving.
improving.
I'll be honest, I'm more excited about the Hot Wheels expansion.
Yeah, for Forza Horizon.
If I'm honest. But.
Yeah. And then
Sneaky made an interesting comment when they were showing Forza, where he said that he prefers Forza over Horizon because he wants to race and doesn't want to go from spot to spot to get the race to happen. And I hear that, but like I'm the opposite. I like driving.
Right.
Like racing is a fun part of driving, but one of the things I like about Horizon is it gets out why it's fun to drive, not just race.
It's half of the fun of that game to me is getting from
exactly
race to race because you don't have to follow the roads and you can go. I mean, like taking a supercar.
And those are two different valid takes on what
totally
one loves about cars. It's two different things, but like that's why they're two different series.
Yeah. Like I totally understand that perspective. I'm like, you know what? I just want to go right to the starting grid and get into a race, but I enjoy taking a $400,000 supercar across the fields.
Yeah, like I see that Maple Valley track, I'm like, oh, it's awesome, but I'm like, I sure wish I could just drive through the trees.
Right, like I want to see what happens when a Bugatti going 200 miles an hour hits like a cow patty and like flies over like a big knoll in the field. Like,
now to be fair, nothing like what happens in Forza Horizon, but like it's still fun.
It's fun. Yeah, absolutely. So are you excited for Forza Motorsport?
I wouldn't say excited. I'm interested. Like,
tepid enthusiasm.
Especially since, again, like a lot of it's just sort of like, doesn't really matter how excited I am because it's on Game Pass and I can just like check it out, and if I don't like it, I can just uninstall it. Like there's no cost to me on any of this. That's sort of the beauty of it. Is like, it doesn't matter if I'm before it had to be like, oh, I'm interested enough in this game to like want to buy it for $60 to $70, and now it's more like, no, I'll just check it out when it gets here.
You have to change your perspective on how you look at these things. And I'll be the first to admit, I am slowly transforming to that mindset. It's, I've been doing this for 20-some years the same way, where you watch a press event like this and you're like, well, I pay money for that game. And you can't do that anymore with Microsoft's press events. It's not about that anymore. It's about, is that going to convince me to spend the $13 a month for Game Pass, which I'm already spending, so I don't need convincing. But there's a lot of people out there that still do need to be convinced. So it's just a completely different way of doing things. Microsoft has just kind of flipped the industry on its head. And I know personally I'm struggling a little bit to wrap my head around it and look at the industry through that different lens right now. So after that, it was Overwatch 2. Well, we never did get a clarification in chat from anyone if it is in fact free to play.
The chat was saying that it was free to play.
I thought for sure I saw it in there. That's a big deal. Like, you had to pay for Overwatch for a really long time. Is it even free to play still?
Overwatch?
The first one.
I have no idea.
I think eventually they transitioned to free to play.
I haven't paid attention to that game in a very long time.
But I know at first you had to pay full price for it like any other game. That's a big deal, making Overwatch 2 free to play. But then it also lessens the impact of it being on Game Pass. So that's kind of a trade-off a little bit there. But
Vincent says Overwatch 1 is still paid.
It is still paid? Yeah. So that's a big deal, Overwatch 2 being free to play. And maybe that's a response to...
I don't know if it's a big deal that like it would have been. That's the thing is like Overwatch just feels so over. Watched.
Yeah. Over.
No one's watching, and it's over.
Yeah.
Like
it does feel a little bit that way.
I used to, I just knew so many people that were like, it's all they did was Overwatch and Overwatch League and watched it and played the
cosplay.
And now like none of them even talk about it anymore.
Yeah.
They don't even know what's happening.
I know. It's
in Overwatch world anymore.
It's been a big paradigm shift for sure, and the game isn't even out yet.
It's an amazing mishandling of something that should have been a slam dunk after the launch it had and the momentum it ended up with. Like Blizzard, just another thing they screwed up. Really.
Yeah. It feels like I can't remember a game that is like sort of doomed a franchise before it even comes out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the game isn't even out yet, and already it feels like what you're saying. It just feels like it's over. Which again may be why it's going to be free to play, because Blizzard, Microsoft is feeling those vibes, and it's like, you know what, we try to sell this, we're in deep trouble. So I guess in the end, the good thing is...
if Overwatch 2 is good enough, it could regain some of that momentum. Who knows?
It's free to play, so everyone can try it.
There's nothing wrong with trying it.
Yeah.
But it's just amazing, like how it used to be this juggernaut, and there was a time when suggesting that there would be in a couple of years no one would even bother talking about Overwatch hardly at all. It would seem ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like every time they dropped one of those character trailers, like the internet stopped,
lit up
for a couple hours.
Those trailers are amazing.
They were
still.
great. Yeah.
I mean, they still are.
The new one there was great too.
Yeah.
Like I wish they'd just make a movie. Frankly,
that's probably next. In fact, if Overwatch 2 does poorly, that will be next. They'll use a film or a TV show to try to revive interest in it, and it works. Look at what's happened with Sonic. You have a lot of apologists for Sonic Frontiers, as bad as it looks, because people got hooked back in by the films. So
well, apparently it's running at 60.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they say that. But Sega also had people trying to prevent people from seeing it.
Oh.
Like there were people trying to shoo people away from the Sonic
really?
Frontiers area. Yeah. There's a lot of weird stuff going on with that game.
Sega. There's always weird stuff going on with Sega. I can't figure that publisher
out.
And then after Overwatch 2, it kind of hit a lull. You're getting like Aura, History Untold, Elder Scrolls Online, Fallout 76. Then there was a Forza Horizon Hot Wheels DLC, which we all knew was coming, and it does look awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of required business in there, but it's got to be in there.
Arc 2, very short trailer for that. No gameplay of that, although I'm assuming that was in engine. Scorn, which is basically an indie game that for whatever reason Microsoft hitched its wagon to way back when, and it just continues to keep mushing.
I mean, if you're into the HR Giger stuff, it looks cool.
Yeah. I just wonder if there's going to be any game there.
I don't know. I will say this: it doesn't look like anything else.
That's true.
So
yeah. Then there was Flintlock,
I'm interested.
And then there was the new Mojang game, Minecraft Legends, and that's coming out early next year. You were not enthused by that. I kind of was, because I do like games that combine action and strategy together. But you're not a fan of the art style of the Minecraft.
I like the art style. I'm also not a huge action strategy. Maybe I'm just eternally burned by what Brutal Legend turned out to be.
No,
but
I could understand that. And then after that, it got really, really bad. Like, there was just a string of, 10 games in a row that were either old games with new content or indie games or games like Naraka Blade Point, Obsidian's new game Pentiment, which is this weird kind of hand-drawn, looks like I could have drawn it, historical adventure game. I think that's what it was. There was a game called Benedict Foy, Gunfire Reborn.
Right.
It's
side-scroller thing.
It was definitely not what I would have expected before we sat down for this, to see games like that, in all honesty.
I tried to warn you.
Yeah. Then there's a game
I don't mind all that stuff. I think all that stuff, it's all part of the library.
I don't mind it either. I just felt like there should have been bigger stuff to put in this than those games. But again,
it doesn't exist yet.
It just goes back to, if you're not on board with Game Pass.
Not on Game Pass, you're not coming out in the next 12 months. That's what's coming out in the next 12 months. So.
Yeah. And then, to me, this is one of the other high points, which I thought you would mention when I asked you for 3, but you didn't. Diablo 4.
Oh, yeah.
I thought Diablo 4 looked freaking amazing.
Yeah, 4 looked good.
Yeah, it's one of the best things I've seen this whole week.
I'm more surprised. It kind of looks like what I expected it to look like. I'm more surprised that it's coming so soon. I really thought that game was further out. But that's what happens when you bring in Rod the Closer Ferguson.
Next 12 months. Diablo 4. It doesn't look like it's going to hit Q4, unfortunately, like we thought. It's 2023. But Then we see of Thieves season 7, where you can be a captain. There was Ravenlock. Cocoon.
I mean, that seems like a good move, just in the sense that you need to get some fresh blood in that game.
Yeah.
And it was a very Rare trailer. Like doing the trailer as a whimsical song is on brand for Rare. Like
in that franchise, they do that a lot with that.
Yeah, Rare's musical pedigree is sometimes forgotten these days, and and I kind of like that. I kind of like that they did that.
Yeah. And then there was Ravenlock, Cocoon, Team Ninja's new game, Wolong. Which, how did you describe it?
It was like a horror take on the Dynasty Warriors legend.
Yeah.
You know, like
the art style for sure.
Because that looked like Lubu at the end,
Uh-huh.
with the head tail.
Yeah, there may be some crossover
So
there.
I think that feels like what if zombies but Romance of the Three Kingdoms kind of thing. Maybe. I mean, that's a very interesting art style. Art style had a little more weight and heft to it than they usually do.
I liked it. I liked the look of the game for sure.
I mean, I can see why you were thinking Ninja Gaiden.
Yeah.
Because it does have that sort of tangibility to it that like the Warriors games do not, the Musou games don't have.
Yeah. And then there's the Persona collection coming to Game Pass. That's Persona 3, Persona 4, Persona 5, and Persona 5 Royal.
Yeah. I mean, that's cool. I think the more stuff that is not just on one or the other system, the better for the most part, as long as you're not, not first party stuff, but like there's no reason Persona games shouldn't be on both.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Absolutely. Then Kojima poked his head into the press event
Kojima confirmed that this time I'm fleecing Microsoft for my weird idea.
I mean, he has just kind of turned into like a mercenary developer.
Oh yeah.
He's just like, whoever will pay me, that's where I'm going to go. And his new game
he has officially become Big Boss.
Yeah, there you go. He didn't really share much about the game other than it's going to be built on Azure, which is Microsoft's cloud infrastructure.
And that it's going to be something we've never seen.
No, like all of his games,
like everything.
Matt. Like everything he touches, yeah. And then
sometimes there's a reason you've never seen them before.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah, exactly. How are you feeling about Kojima's game? Like,
we don't know anything.
I know, but
you know
it's
me.
A
I don't
cloud-based something or other.
I don't.
Yeah.
You know that like Kojima games started like a 3 out of 10 for me and have to work their way up.
Yeah, have to work their way up. Yeah.
I can't wait to see how the cloud renders Norman Reedus.
Yeah, that had been spoiled a long time ago that Kojima was working with Xbox on a game. And I think even the cloud stuff had already been leaked out as well.
Maybe.
So not a big surprise there seeing him. Maybe to some people it was, but not to people who use Sifted.net. And then finally they finish it off with Starfield. Not really a gameplay demo. It was a series of gameplay trailers that Todd Howard tossed to that did show off a lot of the gameplay in the game. I know you're gonna. Starfield is like right in your wheelhouse. For me personally, I'm a little disappointed in it in some ways for a game that and maybe part of it is how long it's been in development, how long I've been anticipating it. And maybe the thing is, it just ended up being exactly what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's fine.
It's Bethesda's game in space.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not many surprises. I think maybe they thought the big hook or the big surprise was the ship stuff, but I feel like, No Man's Sky is old now. Like that
isn't No Man's Sky.
I feel like this game is a lot like No Man's Sky.
As someone who's put 1,000 hours in No Man's Sky, I see very little No Man's Sky in that game.
I think most people will not agree with you on that.
I think most people don't know what No Man's Sky is anymore.
Probably. You're right, though. But I played it when it came out.
This game is not in competition with No Man's Sky. That is not
What do you think are the big differences?
That's not a survival game. It's a story-driven exploration game. It actually offers a lot more customization in places. It is not as much about inventory and crafting to survive and build things. The building is there, but that is not the focus of the game. You made a big point
about the crafting.
It's not a big focus of the game. No Man's Sky is crafting. That's all it is. Mm-hmm. The only reason to go somewhere is to get new resources to build a new thing.
Right.
And Starfield has a lot more exploration, and the exploration's there in No Man's Sky, but it's really once you run out of milestones to hit, you are just looking for resources to keep building whatever you want to build.
See, my impressions of No Man's Sky, you're right. There's a lot of crafting, and it is about gathering resources. But my No Man's Sky experience was about exploration. It was looking at that big galaxy map and trying to figure out where to go and learning how to use light speed to get to places more quickly. And even at the end there when he's and it obviously doesn't measure up to No Man's Sky, but he was there's 1,000 planets and 100 galaxies and all of that was just like very much No Man's Sky to me. And you're right, like I have not really played it that much since launch.
No, I mean that's just space. Also, the fact that there's an actual solar system there, instantly different from No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky has no astronomical accuracy or value to it. Like there is no real space to it. You know, like there's nothing is in an orbit. Nothing goes around the sun. There isn't any kind of cosmological simulation in it, like there seems to be in Starfield. No Man's Sky is a fantasy, like pulp sci-fi novel cover come to life. That this is a science fiction, what if kind of harder sci-fi exploration of the idea of colonization.
Yeah. I can certainly see the differences that you're talking about. I still think for a lot of people, they're going to view the games as similar.
I think that's completely wrong. I mean, other than the fact that they're in space and have spaceships, no.
But it's about exploring and going to new planets and...
So Starfield is a story-driven, character-driven, well,
it's like I said,
game.
To me, it's like a more narrative-driven No Man's Sky.
I just don't see the comparison. And as someone who's put 1,000 hours into it, like it's like
even the whole building your ship thing and then getting to fly it to new planets and stuff.
No, in the same. Well, you can't build your ship in No Man's Sky. There is none of that in No Man's Sky. You find your ship, and that's it. Like you can't modify your ship.
You're like getting all the resources to put into the ship to make it perform better and like
only to build little tech modules. Like there's nothing like that customization you saw in Starfield. There's nothing like that.
It's more extensive for sure, but I think
it's not.
I'm not saying they're the same games. I'm saying they're similar.
I mean, they have similar groundings in terms of like what the genre is, but No Man's Sky is a survival game. Like that's it. Like it's a survival game.
Yeah, there's hardly any story in it at all.
There's all the story is told through like weird text stuff.
Yeah.
And it's all kind of more vague, Lovecraftian cosmic horror. It's cool.
I think a lot of people will be glad to hear you say this.
A
lot of people have tried No Man's Sky and probably decided it's not for them.
I see very little parallel between the two.
And you've played it a
game
ton,
design.
so
like it's just not there unless. I mean, obviously you're getting resources in Starfield, and we played their, Hearth. What was it? What was that?
From who?
The expansion to Skyrim that made you build houses.
Oh, I don't remember.
Hearthfire or something like that.
Yeah.
You remember what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do remember that.
Where you just had to carry wood around all the time.
Yeah.
I hated that, but
and you hated the outposts in Fallout 4 as well.
I mean, a lot of it was just I hate building stuff in first person like that because it's so clumsy, especially the way that those games did it.
I'm
the
not
fact
a
that you
big
can do
builder in games in general, I'll be honest.
I mean, in Fallout 4, I built enough to satisfy the quest demands, and I never looked at it again. I didn't go back and help that settlement. Screw those people. But the fact that you can do a top-down building angle in this one is a huge... Just all that by itself, that's a huge improvement. That they just give you a customization screen, and you have to stand there and try to figure out where you want to put the wall in first person, and that's not where I thought it was going to be because the angle was wrong, and now I got to just let me build it in a builder mode. Like that's finally you get that.
Yeah.
But that doesn't seem to be a huge focus of what you're doing the whole time. Like there's you obviously you're looking for resources and doing all that, but it doesn't quite seem the same in terms of like approach, like look, style, what kind of space thing you're simulating. Like just No Man's Sky does not scratch the going out and kind of humanity reaching for the stars idea that Starfield is going for, which I guess is kind of what they mean by NASA punk.
Yeah,
they didn't say that again,
But being able to land anywhere you want on the planet and like just being able to fly up to the planet.
But that's also Elite Dangerous. It's also about 5 other games whose titles I can't remember.
Yeah, I'm just saying that's one of a dozen elements I think are similar between the two.
I mean, similar, but there's no... The idea that someone is like, I would look at Starfield in any capacity and say I've already played that because I played No Man's Sky is absurd. Like, it's
I'll just say this. Before we saw Starfield
nothing in No
today,
Man's Sky looks like that. Nothing. Like, that looks more like Star Citizen than No Man's Sky, frankly.
I'm just saying, before we saw Starfield in full today, I had not even connected the dots between those two games at all. And after watching Starfield, I had connected those dots. So it definitely impacted me in some significant way to think that.
I don't know how you wouldn't see some parallel just because they're
I hadn't for some reason.
They're both space exploration games.
Yeah. I guess when I was always thinking about Starfield, I just thought about Skyrim, I was like, it's just going to be Skyrim, but on an alien planet. I didn't think that there would be like the traversal between the planets, and I didn't think that would be a big thing.
If it wasn't, I wouldn't have played it. Like that's the whole
Yeah,
point.
you would have.
The whole-
Even if it was just Skyrim set in
if you
space.
just clicked a button and traveled to a different planet, I would have been furious. Absolutely, because what's the fucking point? I would have played it to talk about on the show, but if like say the show didn't exist by then, I would probably skip that.
But I mean, the Outer Worlds is that.
The Outer Worlds isn't promising what this promise. The Outer Worlds isn't focusing on the space exploration idea of things. The Outer Worlds isn't trying to make you customize your own ship and show you all the gadgets and the tricks and then sitting in the seat and looking at all the screens and all the little beepy things and looking at the tech and all that. Like Outer Worlds is a story-driven, character-driven. You're on these planets. It's not important how you get there. This is. Especially if they're invoking NASA in the way of their idea, like this is about space. This is for all mankind more than Outer Worlds. Like that's why I draw a distinction between this and like No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky has no grounding in reality whatsoever. This seems to be trying to do some kind of hard sci-fi extrapolation of like what if in 2330 humanity has reached the stars and we're doing this thing, and I imagine you're gonna have to worry about the integrity of your suit and like all the that kind of the different gravities and stuff.
I hope
like
not.
No Man's Sky does not simulate different gravity except in extreme cases. Like there's none of that. I bet you're gonna have to worry about how the gravity works when you're landing the ship.
I hope not. I hope it doesn't get that granular.
I'm sure there will be auto stuff for that, but I bet you'll be able to.
I want a little more autopilot than that. Character models. A big sore point for me watching that footage. They, particularly after playing some recent games, those character models looked last gen. I guess maybe is it better.
Well, I wouldn't
better
say that.
way to put it.
Really? They're not on par with like Horizon, sure, but that's the best. Those are the best character models Bethesda's ever made.
Yeah, but I would argue that that's been a weakness in their games.
But like they look fine. They look fine.
They look okay.
They look fine.
But
like
you spend so much time looking at characters in these games.
I'm way more worried about whether they got a decent fleet of voice actors this time. Bethesda has that history of like, one voice actor voices all the elves, kind of.
Yeah.
That's more annoying to me than. But like the facial expressions and the conversational behaviors in that trailer look fine to me. Like they're not like bleeding edge, but I'd say they're pretty close to state of the art in terms of what you're expecting from your average game, which is not something you could always say about Bethesda's open world stuff.
Yep. Skill system looks crazy.
Yeah, a
deep,
lot of stuff.
Looks awesome.
I like the idea of unlocking one and then improving it through use. I like that seems like a nice balance between a more player driven, point driven level up system and sort of the traditional Bethesda get better by doing thing. So
yep.
I dig that. Also,
the
seems
traits,
like
another
a way
focus. The trait system, another way to get your character to the character you want it to be to play as. I think all that stuff's going to be great. I can't imagine that they would screw that up. It's something that they've been great at for a really long time. So I'm pretty confident that that's something that they will get right. Overall, I'm still very excited for Starfield. Don't get me wrong. But again, it's like my expectations were so high because of the long wait, all the time that we've spent waiting to check it out.
That's interesting to me because I would never factor weight into my expectations of a game. Like how long they spend.
It's not even just games; it's just life in general. If there's something that I'm really excited for, the longer it takes for me to get it, the more excited for it I get. Whether it's an album from my favorite rock band or anything else. Like,
if anything, my expectations become more realistic over time.
Okay, it's time for us to grade the Xbox and Bethesda showcase. I'll start. I will give it a... I'll give it a B-. Because to me, there were really three big games. There was Redfall, there was Diablo, and there was Starfield. And to me, the rest of this stuff was just kind of filler. And I get why they did it. They need to promote Game Pass, and I think this was a successful way to do it. And I think as far as a vehicle of doing that, they did it. But that's not what I wanted to sit down and watch. So to me, 3 big games in 90 minutes, that's a little low, so B- for me. What about you?
I mean, I told you.
You did. Well, so you said on Game Face to lower your expectations, but then when we started today, you seem to have changed a little bit, and we're a little more excited. But as it turns out, your initial gut feeling was right. Yeah.
I mean, I'm going to give that a B.
Yeah,
like,
I was teetering between a B and B-.
It didn't, all the indie stuff does not bother me the way it seems to bother you. Like,
it doesn't bother me. I just feel like that's valuable space that could be used for.
But there's nothing else to put there. Like,
but,
that's what I'm trying to say is, in a perfect world, yeah, you'd have Perfect Dark to show instead, but they don't. It doesn't exist yet.
My point was that the stipulation that they either had to be Game Pass or out in the next 12 months, I think hurt the show. Because there were several games that I threw out there in my predictions, like Suicide Squad killed Justice League, or what about Star Wars Jedi Survivor? Like, there's
there's no way that has anything ready to go yet.
I don't know. You don't know that, though. Like, there's tons of good third-party stuff that could have been in this that wasn't, because Microsoft had set up these parameters that it wanted for the presentation. And again, it's their presentation. They can do what they want. I just think that if they had peppered in some of these third-party games in there, it would have been a stronger presentation.
The presentation was trying to sell you Game Pass.
So absolutely.
Their target was that. They don't because clearly, why is Jedi Survivor not in this? Because I bet Jedi Survivor's not on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Even though looks like it is coming out next year.
That's what I was saying. The caveat I carved out was that because of the parameters that Microsoft put on this presentation, if it had not done that, I feel like it could have been a better presentation.
But I don't think that's what they're after. I factor in their goal.
They're not.
It's
and
not,
I think
to
next
them
year,
that wouldn't be a stronger presentation because their strength they're going for is Game Pass. Game Pass.
Next year my expectations for this will be way different. Because I feel like now I've finally gotten over the hump of like it's not like the old Xbox press conferences, and it's never going to be that way again. It never will be. Yeah.
Unless something happens that makes them feel they have to do that again. And I can't really imagine what that would be.
Yeah. Like it would have to be them completely bailing on their strategy. And I don't think that they can do that.
And what would make them do that? I can't think of anything.
I don't think that they could.
No, they're in too deep now.
I don't think there's any, like, putting the car in reverse at this point.
No, I mean, it would take a new console launch for whenever the next gen happens to reposition like that.
Agreed.
You're on that track.
Yep.
For the Series X anyway.
Chat, put in your letter grades and any questions that you have for us. Go at Sifted Games in chat, and we'll answer a bunch of them, if you guys have any. But overall, I was a little disappointed in this. I think part of it is that I've been pretty disappointed in Summer Game Fest / E3 22 in general. I really was kind of looking at this as the thing that could maybe save it, and I don't feel that it did. Now, Nintendo does have a thing coming up on Wednesday that could be the saving throw, so to speak. But I really thought that this was going to be it because Microsoft should have so many games with all these studios that's under its banner right now, but, obviously those projects still just aren't ready to show.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, the last 2 years have been rough. Like, they got to, people lost time, and, you can't underestimate the fact that we're still seeing the delay effects of COVID and all that. Like, people lost years.
It's true. Yep. Okay, let's go to chat and see what's happening in there. You guys were along for the ride with us today. You guys have been awesome as usual. Here we go. Here are the letter grades. Matter of Fact, C+. Film Gamer, C-. Mellowack, C+. Lazy Worm, B-. Scorpio's Finest, D. Ouch. Day Zero, a B. Liberal Hack, C+. B- from Betrays. Croak, a C. ETH Demon, a B+. God from Sifted, a B+. Darmist, a C. We're way higher than most people on this. Big Dave, Lazard, a C. Yeah, it looks like people are not happy. Danny Endurance, a B. What is going on with GoldenEye? Good question. Nightwing 3060, a B. Solid B. Fruit Eater, a B+. Okay, some better grades here in the coming in now. Fresh from the Deli, C-. One Super Master Gamer, D. Regal Vamp, C. Emperor Dread, C+. Shibuka, B+. So I think we're a little higher on it than a lot of people. But that's okay. ETH Demon. This is better than I expected, to be honest, given the state of the world. We are seeing all the effects of the last 2 years coming to bear, unfortunately. Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of funny how the industry shrugged off COVID, and a lot of people were kind of cavalier about it. Oh, it didn't hurt us. Like, working from home didn't hurt us. And I think as it turns out, it did.
But then when the release date hits the road.
Yeah, I think that ultimately it did end up hurting.
And indies have done better in terms of staying on target because a lot of them worked out of home anyway. There were smaller teams. There was less adjustment. Like, a lot of that stuff stayed, well, except Silksong, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess that was the biggest surprise. Maybe the biggest surprise for me is like just we didn't get a release date for Silksong. Like,
it's really absurd.
It's surprising. Like it feels absurd. Like that. I hope they do some kind of like behind the scenes on the making of that game because I do wonder what took so long. I mean, I guess just fine tuning something that fine tunable.
I mean, it is a pixel perfect game.
Yeah.
And so the game has to be pixel perfect.
It has to be. Yeah.
Yep. Toast 9. Who won E3?
Yeah.
I mean, I would wait until Wednesday when we see what Nintendo has to.
I didn't know Nintendo had a thing.
Yeah, I think there's a direct or something on Wednesday. So I would wait until whatever Nintendo does in this window to determine that. But from what I've seen so far, like, I thought Sony's State of Play was better than this. What do you think?
Oh.
It definitely had more big games.
Did it?
Yeah.
Like what?
I mean, it had Final Fantasy 16 was one of the lower games on the totem pole for that event. That would have been
That's one of the only
top
games.
2 or 3.
One of the only games I remember from that event. Like, I'm not kidding. There was nothing, very little in that I remember being all that interested in the end. I mean, the Last of Us remake, Final Fantasy 16 looked pretty good. But I have more faith in that because of the people making it more than the fact that it's Final Fantasy. Other than that, Gotham Knights looks like garbage.
It does. Yeah, I'll agree with that.
I can't. All the other stuff that they kind of did is I can't remember anything else.
God from Sifted says, do you think the Gears collection was a fake rumor, or is it still coming?
I don't know.
I think it's real. I mean,
it seems kind of like a no-brainer.
It makes too much sense. Yeah, I think it's real. Yeah, and the source that came from is very reliable. Danny Endurance also asking what's going on with GoldenEye. Honestly, I don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I literally played GoldenEye like probably 1,000
Yeah, you want to talk about one of the few things that I'm still more sick of than Left 4 Dead.
Like, I was the guy who went through and, like, achieved all the unachievable times through each level. Like, I do not need to... And I played the multiplayer for probably 1,000 hours alone. I do not need more GoldenEye.
GoldenEye, I would load up and play the dam and never look at it again. I'd be like, oh, yeah, I remember this. That's fun. And, like, that was it. And listen to the pause music for, like, 30 minutes because that pause music goes hard.
Yeah. But... It does go hard. That's funny. Fresh from the Deli, do you think this will be the worst fall in gaming in the last decade?
I mean,
it might be.
If you're just looking for AAA stuff, yeah, like it's pretty sparse.
It's looking real bad. Like I've been saying this for like a couple months now that Saints Row is going to be one of the big games of the fall.
Saints Row and God of War seem to be your two big hitters there.
Who would have ever thought?
And maybe if Nintendo has, Nintendo has Pokemon. So yeah. Obviously Pokemon isn't setting our worlds on fire personally, but Pokemon's a big deal.
Yeah.
It's a new Pokemon game. It's a new mainline Pokemon game.
Scorpio's Finest. When will we start to see true next-gen games on Xbox? I agree with you, man. Like, and even Starfield, to me, just, it's almost there, but it's just not quite.
It's there, but like, it's like, yeah, it doesn't look like Ratchet.
Forza Motorsport, I think, probably falls in there. But otherwise, you're right. Like, we're just not getting it yet. And look, we're not getting it in a lot of cases on the PlayStation 5 either, so I'm not singling out Xbox on this, but this has been the slowest generation to get going, like, ever.
Well, there's a pandemic, and people got the hardware late, and I think next year you're going to start seeing it. You're going to start seeing that transition.
Yeah.
And everybody had to wait around for because of the chip shortage, people weren't even able to adopt the new systems as fast as they wanted to. So like there's a whole lot of reasons that the transition to full next gen stuff has taken longer than you might expect.
PS5's at 20 million now. Yeah. I mean, that's a lot. That's the GameCube. Already it's whooped the GameCube.
But you're starting to catch up now. Like you're gonna see, starting next year, and I'm sure God of War is going to have some surprises in it. I mean, partly, you still got to run on PS4, but like there's elements of some of the stuff they've shown of God of War. Almost like you don't remember what God of War 1 looked like if you think that looks exactly the same.
Yeah.
As like,
but I would also.
Horizon looks really different too from the original.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, the bells and whistles are there. They're not. They're not like, oh my God, could only be done on PS5 yet.
There are moments in Horizon that are pretty gobsmacking though. Like there are moments, not the whole game, but there are times where I'm like, okay, this is only if it possible on PS5, but it's just not the whole game like it should be. Andy T. Monahan, if E3 returns next year, would those games with 2023 release windows be a good return if stage shows happen? Meaning, like, are these games going to show up at E3 next year? I mean, that would be breaking the rule, right?
Well, it depends what week they do it,
right.
I guess.
It's really coming down to like a 7-day like window or whatever. I would hope not.
They better be pretty sure. I would hate to have to see Todd and Pete get up there and present Starfield again.
They might. So. They very well might. That game's going to be very important.
Yeah.
So they very well might. You might see it. I would say 80% of the games we just saw, we will not see at E3 again. At least I hope to God not.
Yeah, most of that feels like it can be done in the next 12 months.
Yep. Estmont, do you think that maybe we, the hardcore, are missing the point about where the industry is moving forward? I don't care about mobile or indie games, but they seem to make lots of money. They do. Well, the indie games I don't think make lots of money. Some of them do. games that are indie games on Game Pass, the development studios make good money.
Yeah, it's a good deal for them.
But I think the vast majority of indie games fall on their face. There's hundreds, thousands of them that are released every year, and you only end up hearing about probably 20 or 30 of them when it's all said and done. So there are lots of indie games that fail. But mobile gaming, it's like a money tree.
Mm-hmm. Mobile gaming is its own thing.
It is.
Really.
It's completely different. And I don't think that because we're hardcore that we have to be sympathetic to the mobile gaming market and be like, you know what, maybe I should give that a try. No, I did give it a try, and I don't freaking like it.
Yeah, I don't have any use for mobile games.
I don't...
Like mobile versions of things, okay, that's one different thing. But like, kind of the standard mobile model, I don't care. But those aren't good games.
That's not what I want to do.
I've never played one of those like kind of free to play like those treadmill games that I've had fun playing.
Yeah, I don't want to watch an ad to keep playing a game. I just don't.
Yeah, and like there's plenty of match 3 games I can play that do not involve trying to fleece me.
They have no ads in them at all.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily agree with what you're saying. I get what you're hinting at.
I just think it's a different thing. I just think it's it's like saying the difference between like movies and TV.
Yeah,
like they're just two similar but completely different, media streams basically.
And look, I appreciate that market because I spend so much time with Pactor, and Pactor probably 60 to 70% of his time that he spends playing video games are mobile games, and he's into it. Like, he and I, off camera, we have arguments and debates about mobile gaming every time we record episodes of Pactor Factor. But while I still don't come over to his side, I do have an understanding and appreciation for it and understand that it is a different market that I don't want to have anything to do with. That is, as you said, very, very successful. So there's no denying it. But as Matt said, it's an entirely different market, and we don't have to be a part of it to appreciate it and understand that it's something different that is also equally successful. AJ the Legend Watson, do you believe that there will ever be a genre that hits the scene and is long lasting as the first person shooter? I mean,
the platformer,
2D platformers, they've been around for forever and they still go strong. I don't really like to play them anymore, but there's a kid born every minute or thousands, millions of kids born every minute who have never played one. So that genre is going to go on and on. Shooters are going to go on and on. But those are probably the two.
Yeah, driving games have always been around in some form, but they ebb and flow.
And they've really been, like, ebbing lately. Like, they are not the genre that they used to be.
No.
As far as excitement and sales are concerned. So, but yeah, that's the trinity, I guess, of genres that have been around for a long time and will probably continue to be around forever. Let's see if you guys got anything else for us.
Unless you want to count match 3 games.
Oh, yeah. That's true. They will never die. Gino, Mike, a bit off topic. What happened to Beyond Good and Evil 2? Yeah.
Not on Game Pass.
Not on Game Pass?
Not in the next 12 months.
And Ubisoft didn't do a press event.
Yeah, Ubi wasn't here.
Yeah. Didn't show up at all for this either. So, yeah, they just took E3 off. Betrays. Did you expect anything Fable related like me? So I did, and Matt didn't. And Matt was right. Yeah, I expected like something like a gameplay trailer or something showing like the game running, but no, Matt did not. So we were split on that, and Matt was right. Danny,
to be fair, if we'd known the next 12 months thing ahead of time, I think we would have agreed on a lot more things.
Yeah. Danny Endurance is saying the direct is happening Wednesday at noon Eastern, 40 minutes long.
All right.
Okay. Norix Nessie 94. They never mentioned anything about Deathloop. Do you think it's still coming out this year for Xbox? Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah. It is a little weird that they didn't mention it. Maybe there's something.
Yeah, it felt like something you'd throw in at least in a montage or something.
Yeah, maybe there's some kind of a deal with Sony where they're not allowed to talk about it yet. I don't know.
That could be.
Yeah.
They might have to wait until closer to the actual release.
Yeah, and Betrays actually asked the same thing in a follow-up. Vincent says, just to be clear, Nintendo has not announced any Direct yet. Okay, so we're getting... And actually, Danny Endurance supplied a link to Engadget saying that there was one. So I don't know what's going on there. Spillage Village, a great username. Current consensus is that chip shortage will end towards the middle of 2024, still feeling effects on supply chains from shutting down economy. Autos in a really bad place. Okay, there's no question there, but all right. Darmus, what does Matt think about Samsung including Xbox gaming without a console? I think we talked about that on Game Face last week, didn't we?
I don't know.
How Samsung's TVs are going to have Xbox in it.
Something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, we talked about how Pactor's vision for the future is
not a whole lot of use if you don't already have a controller somewhere.
Yeah. Vincent says that link was to a 2021 page. Okay, so maybe there isn't a direct. Yeah. All right. That's it. That's all your questions. We got through them all. Thanks to everybody for showing up, and everyone was here for our pre-show and our live commentary and our post-show analysis. You guys asked great questions afterwards. Appreciate it very much. We will be back very soon, actually. In like a day and a half, we'll be back right here for Game Face 304. That'll be on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. We will get into the rest of the stuff that was shown at Jeff Keighley's Summer Game Fest presentation that was like 2 hours long. There's a ton of games in that we'll talk about. And I've been playing a couple games as well. I don't know if you've been playing anything.
I played the demo of Fire Emblem.
Oh, I forgot that was available. I'll have to play that as well. I've been playing like 3 games. So we'll definitely have some games to talk about. We'll wrap up E3. We'll be really excited for that show. Make sure you guys show up. If you're watching this on YouTube, help us out if you can. Head to patreon.com/sifted. Our content, everything we do, supported 100% by Patreon. If we don't get paid there, we don't get paid at all. So we'd appreciate it if you could go and check it out. So, Matt, great E3 with you again, even though much easier and shorter than
it was a quick E3.
This is the easiest E3 I've ever done. But always an honor and a pleasure to do it with Matt and to do it with you guys as well on chat. You guys have been great today. So have yourself a great Sunday. We'll see you guys on Tuesday for Game Face. Take it easy.